Good evening, everybody. My name is Zar, and this is my co-mediator, Man, and we are your mediators today. Just a brief introduction. I'm a certified mediator, trained to assist in resolving disputes such as the one before us today. I'm pleased to be here to assist you in working through your issues and to come to amicable settlement. I believe that you will find this mediation process a very helpful process. Thank you for committing to be here today. If any of you have special needs during the session, do let me know. If anyone needs to take medication or if you need to be somewhere at a certain time, do let us know. The restroom is down the hallway and we have a pantry with coffee and tea and snacks right at the right after you exit the room. Also, as a reminder, everyone please silence your electronic devices during this mediation. Before we start, I would just like to know how would you like to be addressed at our session today? What should I call you?
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah. Perhaps I'm okay if you just called me B. And
B?
yes, my counsel is also here. He is Han.
Hello, Han.
Good day.
Right, all right, you speak first, sorry.
Okay. Good day. You can address me as Gracie, and my lawyer is Sun.
You're from Fresh Veggie?
Yes,
Fresh
I'm
Veggie
Fresh Veggie
CEO?
CEO. Yeah.
Yes. Hi, Gracie.
Yes, then Ellen here. Okay, but everybody just call me Dato Ellen. I'm okay. Just call me Ellen. Yeah.
Okay,
And
hi, Ellen.
together my committee. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, my name is Ellen. Yeah,
Sorry.
and that
Atan,
is
sorry. I'm Atan.
that's Atan. Yes.
Sorry.
No worries.
Ellen is my committee member. I'm so sorry. Okay.
So Atan,
Yeah.
and Ellen. Hello.
Yes.
And we have Hut, right? Hut is here. Sun, that's your lawyer.
No. Today only me and Ellen. We represent the Orang Asli committee. So we don't have any lawyer. It's okay for us to continue.
Okay, so you're not represented. Okay.
Yes.
Now that we know, you can just call me Zar. And as I've said earlier, my co-mediator is one. Okay, so before we actually proceed with the mediation, I would just like to confirm whether all of you here have the mandate to actually settle and sign an agreement if parties reach a settlement today. Can I confirm that all of you have the authority and mandate to do so?
Yes. I'm the leader, the president of my Tasik Besar Orang Asli Corporation. I already talked to our member, so they already mandate me and Ellen today to represent all the committee to discuss.
Okay, that's great. What about Gracie? Do you have the mandate to settle if an agreement is reached today?
Yes, I'm the CEO of the company, so I have the mandate.
Okay, and lastly, V?
Well, actually, I have got this entire ball rolling on the mediation, and I'm the CEO of V-Tank. I definitely am able to call the shots, and I have my counsel here to advise me should there be any concerns. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so that's great. Everybody have the mandate. Okay, so just let me just state at the outset, okay, Man and I, we are not acquainted with any parties here. We are neutral and impartial third parties. I'm sure I've not met any of you before this session. Could I confirm that? I do not remember meeting any one of you.
Yes.
Okay, right. Okay, so now I will just share the agenda for today. So can everybody see this on the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so the agenda today, right. first we will start with the introduction. The mediator will, sorry? Okay, we will have the opening statement. Right after this, I'm going to do that. And then after I have my opening statement, all of you, the parties, will have your own opening statement. And then after that, we will explore the possible options for settlement that we can look at. And if settlement is reached, then we'll write out the terms of the agreement for settlement. Okay, and then now I will just proceed very quickly with the opening statement. So very firstly, I will just say mediation is a voluntary process in which we, the neutral, impartial third parties, will assist you to come out with options to resolve your issues. I believe that all of you here are here voluntarily. Okay, so our role as mediators is to facilitate this discussion and negotiation and help you to capture any agreement into appropriate settlement terms. So I will just say we are not judges, okay? We are not here to decide on the case. I'm not going to tell you if you have a good case, you have a bad case. Are you going to win if you go to court? No, I'm not going to do that. And also I will just remind you that your attendance at this mediation does not imply any admission of guilt or wrongdoing. So later on, if you would like to take a break, or if you would like to meet with us privately, or you want to consult with your lawyers, or you feel like you don't want to continue the mediation, please let us know. And we will address these matters at that time. So our goal here is primarily to assist you to communicate clearly with each other, what you want, and so that you can reach an amicable settlement. So, like I've said, mediation is not a battleground, it's not war. Okay, I'm not here to take sides. I'm not representing any side. I'm not here to provide any advice or guidance. So, during the mediation, you are allowed to seek representation or any subject matter experts if you want to call them for additional information if necessary. I am not going to impose any decision on you, or I'm not going to decide on how this matter should be settled. It's all on you. You will be the ones deciding on how you want the matter to be settled. So the next thing is confidentiality. So generally, if you tell us something in private and if you want us to keep it confidential, we are bound by law not to disclose this information. And parties cannot use any admission or concessions made in this mediation if the matter goes for trial. And also any notes taken during the session today will be shredded at the end of the day. You're not allowed to take it back home. You're not allowed to look at it again. It cannot be used as any evidence in court. And I also want to remind you that this is not a legal proceeding. If you decide at a later time to pursue this matter in court or any other alternative dispute resolution forum, you are free to do so. However, I just want to say that the mediation agreement and the resulting settlement agreement, if reached, they are not confidential. If any agreement is reached, it will be written and signed by you, and each of you will be provided with a copy of the agreement. After this, when I complete the opening statement, each of you will have an uninterrupted period of time for you to describe the issues you have. So basically, that's your opening statement. And after that, we will go into a joint session where we can have a more in-depth discussion about the nature of the dispute and maybe negotiate a settlement towards it. I ask that you consider on how you might want to resolve this dispute. And at a certain point of time, we may meet with you separately in what we call a caucus discussion. So do all of you understand the confidentiality requirement of this mediation?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so thank you for being
Yes.
here today. Your presence here today demonstrates your willingness to attempt to solve this issue amicably. So if you have any questions at this point of time? If
No.
there are none?
So
Okay.
far, no.
No.
Okay, great. So if there's no question, Man will take over for now.
All right, thank you so much, Zar. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, thank you for attending the mediation today. Before we proceed, I would like to briefly reinforce the process of today's mediation. I believe Zar has actually explained well on how we are going to go today. But this mediation, please be reminded that it's intended to provide a neutral platform for all parties to openly discuss the issues at hand. We need to explore the possible solutions, and we need to work together towards a practical resolution of the current dispute. This is not a courtroom, and our purpose here is never to determine any fault of any parties, but instead we need to facilitate the negotiation process so it will be constructive. Parties are able to actually agree on one amicable settlement at the end of the day. The session will begin with a joint discussion where each party will be given an opportunity to present their concerns, positions, and also objective. We do ask that each party be allowed to speak without interruption so that all perspectives may be properly understood. As the mediation progresses, as Zar mentioned earlier, we may conduct a private caucus sessions with each party separately. Information shared during this caucus will remain private unless express permission is given for the disclosure to the other parties. I would also like to emphasize the importance of respectful communication throughout today's proceedings. We appreciate that this dispute involves significant financial, environmental, and also reputational concerns, and emotions may understandably run high. However, productive mediation depends on our professionalism, patience, and also mutual respect. For that reason, I ask that all participants do few things. First, please speak respectfully. Secondly, do avoid personal attacks or unnecessary interruptions. Thirdly, please focus only on issues rather than accusations. We don't want a blaming game throughout this mediation process. And finally, remain open to constructive problem solving between parties. So I would like to thank you again for all your cooperation and also for agreeing to attend this mediation. With that, we shall now begin and proceed with the opening statements. At this stage, for the opening statement, each party will be given the opportunity to present their position, outline their concerns, and share your perspective on the matters in dispute. This is very important because as part of the process, it will allow all parties to be heard and ensures that all the key issues are properly addressed and placed in the table for our discussion later. For the benefit of an orderly and productive sessions, I will guide the speaking order. I hope all the parties take note of this speaking order. I respectfully ask while the one party is presenting, all others refrain from interruption. There will be appropriate opportunities for clarification, response, or other further discussion, if any or if needed later. And the purpose here again is not a debate immediately, but to first ensure that mutual understanding of each party's position. For the reason later, we don't want everyone is in a different direction. We want everyone to receive in the same intersection at the road. We will begin with the representative of Tasik Besar Orang Asli Corporation as the initiating party in the dispute. Datuk Alan or Alan, you may now present your position first.
Okay, thank you, Madam Videta. Okay, today we are very sad to come here. We just have a meeting with our people yesterday. They are so unhappy, Actually, this will our land is Tasik Besar Orang Asli Corporations. We have been established since before Merdeka. So we get the land from the government is about 1960. So now it's almost 60 years. We live here. We plant our things here. We grew up here. Yeah, I still remember last time my parents, we just live in a very small house, and now we are getting better and better. My people all now have their own plantations, and we have a compost yard, which is somebody, I think later Alan will tell you more about this, our new project. We started this 5 years ago, and according to the research, this compost yards help us to increase our plantations. We harvest a lot. Actually, our people increase their income after this compost yard, not only because of the harvest, not because of the plantations also, it's also because we also can do some educational and cultural visits for the people over these 5 years. So much of the things. So currently, actually, just for your information, we have about 200 family here. Our resident is about 1,000 people. We live in this 10 acre land. Okay, so this is our, I would say, is our livelihood. Okay, so, but I don't know how. Since last year, we found that actually now our lands is no more suitable for our plantation. So after that, we check, we ask some researchers to come, we do some tests. Then we find out there is something called AB fertilizer in our land. So it's make all our crops, destroyed. Last year, actually, our income have been cut down almost 80%. Almost 80%. All the vegetables cannot be sold. Some of the vegetables die and destroyed, ruins. I want to show some photo. Okay, let me share some photo to you all. Just manage to take some photo. Okay, so this is what we get last time in our. This is last time our plantation. I mean, our crop, they grow the banana, they do some other crops. We even got durians. Our Musang King is one of the famous, among the Malaysia. Okay, so now you see, this is a photo I took. Okay, last month. You see all the trees, all the plants gone. You know what happened? I tried to ask people, you see, all's gone. We don't know how. Now the 10 acre lands totally, I would say, useless. Now useless. We don't know what we can do. And we are also contacting the Ministry of Health to see whether our people still suitable to stay on this land or not. Is this still suitable? I don't know. Maybe later I will ask Alan to present to you all. Just for your information, last week our people we just go to the to meet with the ministry. Yeah, we already speak out all the things, and ministry told us that today we have this mediation and asked us come to see the fresh veggie and V10 people. Yeah, I don't know whether they want to give us some solution or not. Before that, Madam Mediator, we just have I just sent our lawyer just send a letter to them. Okay, we are asking for 20 million compensations. Yeah, you may think this is a huge amount, but I don't think so. We have 200 family here. 20 millions, how much they can get? For each family, we only can get about 100,000. But the coming 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, how they can live with this 100,000? Our people, they only know how to do agriculture. They are less educated. So how they are going to work in factory, become engineer? We are not like you all, lawyer here. Yeah, CEO some more. They only know how to plant. So now 20 million also, they don't want to pay until now. So we don't know what they want. We just need our livelihood. That's all. We want to survive. We just want to survive. All these capitalists, It just destroy our land. Yeah, I think Ellen, can you just tell them what our finding on this?
Right. So, as you can see from all the photos that Dato has showed, right, our plantation is all damaged, ruined. All the 10-acre land is all done deal, right? And like what Dato said, right, we are not like, professional as in we are not, you guys, CEO and all of that. We just do plantation. So at least give us the space for us to do plantation. But it's recently that we found out that there is a leakage in the fertigation system where we do our plantation, and that leakage has caused caused our plantation to have excess nitrogen and phosphorus. So to give you a little bit of data, based on the science lab results, right? Our percentage for nitrogen right now is 2%. Okay, 2% sounds like it's very small number, right? No, it is a lot because the usual number should be about 0.1%.
How do you know? You're not an expert, isn't it? Where is the science lab analysis that you're referring to?
I work in the lab.
So where's the report?
The report is with me.
Yeah, so perhaps you can extend it to everyone for everyone's knowledge then. We haven't cited the report. It's purely you showing us pictures, or rather the earlier presenter just showing us pictures. We don't know what exactly has transpired.
Well, I can show you the report, right? I'll send to your lawyer, okay, for the data.
Yeah, my lawyer is here. I think you can, since it's mediation, I mean, everyone is here. I think you can present
Don't
the
worry,
report.
don't worry. We will
Yeah,
send
yeah.
we will send
It's
to
okay,
the
Dato'.
minister as well. We will send
We
to the
haven't got to
minister
your
as
position
well.
yet.
We will send.
We will
We
get there.
definitely will let the minister know.
Everyone, I think
Yeah.
everybody needs to take a breather. Maybe perhaps, we can allow parties to, make their opening statement uninterrupted first, so that everybody gets an opportunity to be heard.
Yes.
Okay,
Then
thank
perhaps they shouldn't be
you.
making any accusation. I'm sorry for interrupting, but please, no accusations. Just so long as they limit it to their scope of opening statement, if I may say.
All right. So I am just saying based on lab results, okay, because I work in the lab. Right. So, like you said, as you guys can see, based on the photos that Dato has shown, you can see that some of the leaves are yellow, right? That is not good quality. That's not good harvest. And that is because there is a high level of phosphorus. That is the cause. That is what will be the image when you have a high level of phosphorus. So I think that will tell itself on how our plantation is ruined. That's all.
One, may I add something?
Yes, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, just now Ellen already told you all we have the report and certifies. There is a lab report. So honestly, if today we can't do anything, I think I already talked to the minister. I'm very good with minister. Actually, I told them that next week I'm going to meet the minister. I will show the report to the agriculture ministry. I will go to show to those authority. Actually, I think they will agree to our report. All this come from the certified lab.
I wonder whether the indigenous people's interests are being protected. I don't know the concern that both these individuals have and the purpose in which they are attending today's mediation. It doesn't look like they are genuine. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you all can go to do your research. Yeah, we don't mind because the fact is
Well, we
fact.
have come prepared. We have come prepared, and we will be illustrating with reports and qualified statements on what our view is. So we will. But I'm just, all that I'm saying is that refrain from making any form of threat or allegations that are unfounded.
But all this while, minister already told us this is our land. Mm, mm.
Right, we
Bumi
needed to-
Putra right have been protected in Malaysia. Yeah.
Yes.
Now you all take our right, our livelihood, you all always say human right. Where is our right? Our basic right. We just want to
In
survive.
the land. Do you live physically on the land? Do you live there? Dato Atan. Yeah, do you live there?
Sorry?
I'm sure not, right? Do you live on that land?
Do I? Sorry?
Do you live on that 10 acres? Do you live there?
Yes.
You are
Yes, my
part of the
house is
200.
there.
You're part of the 200 families.
Hmm?
You are part of the 200 families, Dato
Yes.
Atan.
Yes, definitely.
Right, okay.
Yes. Yes. If not, how many become the president? My grandfather stayed there already. We are 3 generations there. Okay, I think that's all. Puan, this is from
Alright.
our things now. Yeah.
Dato' Atan, Ellen, thank you so much for the presentation. I just would like to remind parties, this is just the opening session. Each party will be given the fair opportunity to present their position. So at this first stage, I do seek everyone's cooperation to not interrupt any other parties when they have actually tabulated their presentation. I do understand that there's certain thing that feels not in line on your belief because it's just the statement of facts. But because this has become a dispute, definitely each party has their own points of view. So please, for the first stage, do not interrupt any other party's presentation on their perspective. That being
Sorry
said,
about that.
no worries, no worries. I understand we are at the first time doing the mediation, but just let's everyone portray their view first at this juncture. So that is to say, I would now invite Fresh Veggie Corporation. Fresh Veggie Corporation, Gracie Sant, we would like to now hear from you and you may proceed with your opening statement.
Thank you, Madam Mediator. Well, as I've heard Dato Atan and Ellen on their opening speech, well, let me give some brief statements whereby, as the CEO of the company, my company, I would say that is a very well-known company in Malaysia. And on top of that, our company has been labeled as the honest and reliable producer of the fresh vegetable produce. We are taking this matter very seriously at this stage because these disputes may threaten our company's reputation and also our integrity. We are also currently in the midst of applying our export license from the government of Malaysia to expand our business for the exportation of our fresh vegetables to Brunei and also Singapore. However, this matter had actually caused a pause in our application whereby just because there was a leakage found in the tank which was not caused by any intentional act or negligence on our part actually, because I believe that the tank was built by the We Tank, in which they was awarded in the 50 million from the government for this project. Yeah. And I also disagree in this view that Dato Atan or Ellen has actually issued a letter of demand to Fresh Veggie which I believe it was not supposed to be issued to us because we were not the cause of the leakage of the tank.
Hey, liar, the thing is on your land, what?
No, but we did not build it. It is not our responsibility
Why you
to
bring
take care
why
of
you
the
bring
tank. It was
why you
built.
bring the tank? Why you bring the tank?
We did not
There is a
build the
risk.
tank.
Order, please,
No.
order. As I just told you a few minutes ago, this is just the opening statement. Let each parties present their points of view. If there's any dispute, there's a dissatisfaction, parties can actually discuss it later during the caucus or even during the joint session. So at this juncture, please hold yourself. All right, please continue.
Sorry.
Well, Dato Atan, we are regretting that you are facing such situation with with the rest of the members, and we acknowledge your
Doesn't look
concerns
like
in
it.
here. Sorry, we thank. But yeah. However, my stand here is that the leakage was not caused by us, and a part of that we are not agreeable to your 20 million of the letter of demand. Well, we are here today to mediate the matter, and I believe that me and my lawyer are open for the mediation, and we hope to reach for an amicable settlement. And of course, at first we have to identify the true cause of the problem, in which I believe that I hope that parties will work towards the fair and practical resolution, not by being biased and not by being imbalanced toward each other. I believe that who are responsible need to take up their own responsibility about it.
That includes your client as well.
Listen.
Oh, sorry. So it actually includes your position, fresh veg.
Miss Sun, you're muted.
Okay. Good day to mediator and all the parties represent. Okay, I'm a represent Fresh Veggie Corporation Sdn Bhd. Okay, I'm here. Just want to tell that Dato, we are truly acknowledge the seriousness of the impact on your land and your community. And also, we just want to let you know that, however, from the legal standpoint, we must respectfully state that liability cannot be determined. And also at this stage, without proper technical findings, we want to ensure that any compensation is fair, accurate, and based on a verified evidence that have been provided. Okay, again, I just want to highlight here that at this stage, any liability has not been established against Fresh Veggie. The cause of the leakage remain under technical dispute, and also conclusive expert evidence leaking from Veggie to the incident. And also, I would like to say that therefore, it will be premature to impose any compensation liability on Fresh Veggie, including the 20 million claim as well. And also, Fresh Veggie is, however, open to fair and constructive resolutions, and we support an independent technical investigation to determine the true cause of the issue. Thank you.
I believe that's all from us for the opening statement. Thank you.
Okay, Thank you so much, Gracie and San. We take note of your consent and also your opening statement. Next, we should invite V and Hood to present their position. So V and Hood, please proceed.
Okay, so I think several parties here have diluted the purpose of the mediation. I mean, I understand that everybody has a concern. Everybody has, of course, everyone wants a resolution that's favorable to everyone. I just want to make it very clear that we feel for the indigenous people. We are definitely not against them. We also want them protected in every manner possible. Yes, we also agree that there should be a fair and reasonable solution that can be concluded at the end of today's mediation. However, our position as a foreign entity must also be considered in light of the fact that our organization is quite a reputable and renowned company in Southeast Asia. We are not a company that has been in operation for the past few years. We actually, if I may, I think it will be very boastful if I were to put up, you can actually look up our company profile. It's available. Our information on our organization is quite public knowledge. And I think it is also common knowledge that we have recently signed an agreement with the Ministry of Agriculture. So having said that, if at all, we found it very, very pressing for this mediation to be conducted. Firstly, to address the indigenous people's rights that are being affected, if any. And secondly, of course, to protect our reputation as a global organization. As far as the legal perspective is concerned, well, we are also well aware that the demand is not targeted against us. In fact, we do not have to be a part of this mediation today. Yet again, I hope that everyone can see that we are here only for one reason. And I would be stressing that again, it is to protect the indigenous people. So rest assured, we are not here to be unnecessarily difficult because of the size of our organization. In fact, I think the power imbalance, if any here, I think knowing that we are such an established organization may very well be the very thing that is motivating the demand at present for such an exorbitant amount of damage. So I won't get into any further details, but we equally want a fair representation during this mediation. We want to reach an amicable solution moving forward. I will leave the remaining of the legal perspective or the factual matrix of the case to be handled by my counsel, HUD. Thank you.
Thank you, V. If I may, mediators. If I may,
Yes,
mediators.
please.
Well, thank you. Good evening, dear mediators, Manans, representatives of Yorang Asli, and of course our respected representatives of Fresh Veggie Corporation. Now, Council for Fresh Veggie, I'd like to clarify first thing. My client's contract is 50 billion, yeah, not 50 million. So this is not a laughing matter. It's very serious. Now I represent VTang. Together with my client is now Ms. V. She is the CEO of VTang. Now, from the outset first, let me say thank you for coming to this session. like what my client said as well, we are not supposed to be part of this mediation technically. But out of the goodwill and concern that we have for you orang aslis, that's why we come here and we want to have this settlement. Okay, actually this dispute, I would say, can actually become very ugly, I would say. It can become so contentious, full of litigation. Because it's not just about a tank, or a parcel of land actually. However, I noticed one thing. This dispute actually requires detailed knowledge of environmental science, agricultural practice, community livelihood. So let me begin by stating my client's position clearly and firmly. My client VTank denies any form of liability for the alleged contamination. Okay. We also deny that there is any defect in our design or construction that caused that leakage. We also further deny
Sorry, Hat.
that
I disagree with that. But I believe that the cost was awarded to your WeTank, to your client's company. Yeah. So the
I've not finished my
accountability should
sentence.
be on your client's company as well.
I believe we should abide by the mediator's rule first, though we're not in
But I
court.
have to.
I appreciate your input, but I'll get there. All right? So stay put. Thank you. Now, what was I saying? We really further deny that any defect in the design caused this. Unlike what counsel said there. We also deny that the damages of 20 mil is actually justified or even supported. I'm sorry. But this denial is actually not a bad assertion, Because why? We have solid evidence on our side. The science and the facts, and also we have the expert evidence report, okay? We have in our possession right now, actually. Yeah, our client has it, the expert evaluation and assessment report. It's conducted by an independent assessor, so it's fair, and the assessor is an expert in soil science, environmental engineering, whatnot, okay? So this report begins with, of course, the obvious usual things, but it's very critically important. I noticed a particular sentence in there that should be setting the tone for this mediation. Firstly, we're talking about nitrogen and phosphorus and all. Now, frankly speaking, nitrogen and phosphorus are not foreign contaminants in the soil. Actually, they are actually part of plant nutrients, and they actually, in essence, compost. Now, Dr. Atang, based on your orang asli farming model, by its very nature, they use compost materials, right? So, the nitrogen...
I'm sorry for interrupting. I think you should flash that report, that expert report on their face.
Oh.
No, it's okay. We also have the report. We let the Ministry of Agriculture and the international body to see. They will make the decision for us.
Dato, please let your report be seen by us first.
I talked to the minister already. I talked to the minister already.
Decide, let alone you want to show the
I mean-
ministry.
I mean,
Come on, Dato, be
Parties,
realistic.
if parties can just calm down a little bit. I think maybe we could look at the report at the joint session. So at the moment, during the opening statement, maybe parties can just at the outset, just set out the facts very briefly, so we can all just move on as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
To state clearly, we have that report, and it proves that this nitrogen and phosphorus is actually part of the compost. What's more in that report is that, the elevated nitrogen and phosphorus levels of the land are not necessarily indicative of any external factor or from a tank or whatever. They're actually consistent with the characteristics of the natural compost system. Okay, so that lab report also further realizes that actually, not necessarily leakage can cause contamination. Other activities such as soil, instability, part of nature, right? Where there is erosion, that can lead to actually structural stress and could cause more further leakage. So the report goes in huge detail about how it is actually not VTank's fault. Okay, and we will show that report later. Now to the law actually. If on your side you want to put any blame on us, you have to prove causation. You cannot assert or assume. This is consistent with the law. Okay. So on fresh veggie side as well, we talked about the aspect of that agreement that we had. If I can jog your memory, Council, the design and construction agreement that was dated 16th of January 2024, it actually defines the scope of VTANK's obligations and of course, more importantly, yes, the limits of our liability, okay? So if I would like to put out that report here, and no, not the report actually, more importantly, the contract, yeah? If I may share the screen, you can see the contract. Council, maybe you should take notes. Okay. Council, yes. As you can see here, in clause 3 and 3.1 specifically, the design of our tanks have been reviewed and certified by recognized and competent authorities, both in Malaysia and Vietnam. 3.2, the tanks are structurally sound. The tanks are not inherently prone to failure or damage. And most importantly, clause C, any external factors affecting performance are outside the design controls. Okay? So we would like to highlight also clause 5. Look at the soil conditions. We acknowledge that, yes, nitrogen and phosphorus are there. But of course, we have no warranty for soil-related defects, which ties with our expert evidence report. Therefore, we are not liable to pay any form of damages or responsibilities as demanded for. That would suffice for now. Now, the crux of the issue is this. The burden of proof still lies on you. On our side, we have a very strong case. And we have come here solely on goodwill. Why? Because we believe that actually the damages should be minimized, exactly as what my clients have said. Therefore, I think we should not dispute much further, especially on the issue of damages. I think at this stage, the relevant parties would realize their respective liabilities and responsibilities, and that VTANK is actually coming to be a very gentleman, or I would say my client is a gentlewoman indeed, really, who has decided to take time out of a busy schedule, running far from Malaysia and Vietnam to manage a multinational corporation, just to be here to resolve this dispute. So again, I would like to reiterate, our position is that we deny all forms of liability, but we still look forward to exploring a fair resolution, and we hope that this mediation is done in good faith, of course, without any personal attacks, based on the science and the evidence. Yeah, thank you.
All right, Vihut, thank you so much for presenting your position. I do believe right now all the parties have presented their facts, what you think about the matter on your end. So thank you again for all parties for your respective presentation. I do appreciate all the professionalism shown thus far. And at this stage, I would like to emphasize that there is no conclusions being drawn at all or any assumptions being made regarding liability or fault by any of the parties. Each party's statements right now serve only to assist the mediation process by clarifying the concerns, priorities, and also the areas requiring further discussions. And just a slight reminder that our role remains neutral throughout, and our objective is to assist all parties in exploring a practical and also mutually acceptable path moving forward. Zar, do you have any clarifying points for the parties?
Not at the moment, but I do hope that parties would be able to share the reports or the other evidence or the scientific evidence, that you all have mentioned at your opening statement at joint session, so we can really identify the issues accurately at that point.
I
Sure,
concur
sure.
with Yeah, I concur with Zar as well. I think that reports actually would be a weightage later on when we wanted to construct the agreement, settlement, if any, hopefully later on. Okay, right now we will now proceed to identify the key issues arising from the positions presented by all the parties before. Zar, if I may ask for your assistant to share the screen for a while on our whiteboard.
Okay, can everybody see this?
Not at this moment.
Okay.
Okay, yes, thank you so much, Zar. I apologize about that. I do feel that I need to share and discuss and rule out our identification of all the parties have presented their position. So, having heard the respective positions by everyone today, it may be helpful at this stage to summarize the principal issues that have all parties might have a clear and structured understanding of the matters requiring discussion. So do take note because this is going to be very, very important in our caucus later. Firstly, the issues at hand is there appears to be a dispute regarding the cause of the leakage from the fertigation tank, specifically whether the incident resulted from defective design and construction, maintenance failures, or external environmental factors such as the land movement at Orang Asli's land. Secondly, there is the issue of the extent of contamination and damage caused to the Orang Asli's compost yard and also broader farming operations, including but not limited to the long-term impact on its compost-based agricultural model. Thirdly, the matter of compensation had been raised. I do believe that it's particularly on the basis of the justification for the 20 million claim, as well as the financial implications for the affected parties. Fourthly, responsibility for the restoration also has of the contaminated land remains a significant issue, I believe, including the practical feasibility, cost, and also the long-term sustainability of such efforts. Finally, sorry, this is not the final one. The fifth one is there are broader reputational, regulatory, and also commercial concerns affecting all the parties, since everyone has their own things at stake at the moment, including the potential NGO involvement, ministry scrutiny, export licensings, implication, government contracts, and corporate business interests. Finally, there is the overreaching question of whether a practical, commercially sensible, and mutually acceptable settlement can be achieved without the need for prolonged litigation or public escalation. So, in essence, both me and Zar believe that this dispute involved not only the questions of liability and compensation, but it also involved environmental integrity. There is some public interest at hand, and also the future commercial stability of all parties involved. Is it correct?
Yes.
Yes, we definitely agree.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for the confirming the issues at stake at the moment. So, by identifying these core issues, our hope is to guide discussions in a focused and productive manner. And that is to say, we will now move forward with these issues in mind as we explore possible avenues towards resolution. Is everyone doing okay at this moment? Should we continue?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. We will now proceed into the joint discussion session. At this stage, please be mindful that the purpose of this session is to allow parties to engage directly on the issues that have been identified earlier and to clarify the concerns, respond to position raised, and begin exploring possible pathway toward resolution. This joint session is never intended to function as an adversarial confrontation. It is an opportunity for constructive dialogue between the parties where everyone may better understand the practical realities, concerns, and also interests among each other. I do believe that during the presentation earlier, there might be certain different in the points of view. This is the session where everyone can discuss, are open to give their opinion towards every facts in order for us to lead in finding a settlement towards the dispute at hand. Therefore, I appreciate that this matter actually involves significant financial, environmental, and also reputational consequences, and it is entirely understandable that strong views may be held. However, I would respectfully encourage all the parties to focus not solely on attributing blame, but instead on identifying the solutions per se. While questions of responsibility are undoubtedly important, very, very important, because there's so many things at the high stake at the moment, we need to always remember mediation is often most productive when parties move beyond fixed accusations and instead consider three things. First, how the present harm may be addressed, be it in words, gesture, and also your actions. Secondly, what restoration or compensation may be appropriate. And thirdly, how future risks may be prevented. I also ask that all parties continue to communicate respectfully. Differences is okay, definitely is expected, but personal attacks, interruptions, or unnecessarily confrontational exchanges will never assist this process. At the end, we are here all today to find one common goal. We have one objective, which is to settle this matter before it proceeds, or we hope it doesn't go to the extent of litigation. When discussions become overly focused on fault alone, Zar and I may and will actually intervene to redirect the conversation toward the practical outcomes. So do expect some interaction from both of us. We do apologize if that interruption causes you to have some sort of difficulties in presenting, but most importantly, we need to have a professionalism in order for us to deliver, in order for you guys to actually deliver your points. And our objective here again is to create a structured environment where difficult issues may be discussed, may be addressed productively, and where potential settlement options may emerge accordingly. I encourage parties to use this session to engage meaningfully in the problem solving. With that in mind, if there is any other further question, we shall now proceed with the joint discussion. Is everyone okay?
All right.
Yes.
Okay, maybe.
Okay, just very
Yes.
quickly, so we can just move forward. Okay, Dato' Atan, right? You mentioned earlier that you have the report ready, right, on the state of the compost yard. So can we actually look at it? Do you have it with you today? No?
Yeah, we will send letter. We will send to your letter. But I
I told you he doesn't
just
have
have the
anything.
conclusion. We were definitely, now I thought that we are not in the court. We will disclose everything. But I just want to bring madam, I just bring your
Yes.
attention actually. Okay, regarding the cause of leakage. Okay, we already know that it's come from this court.
I'm sorry, I don't see how these people are actually amenable to settlement. You just heard him. He says that, you know, he didn't bring the documents because he was expecting for a different outcome, and he just referred to some court proceedings. We are here for mediation. I don't understand what's the aim or purpose he's here if all matters are not brought before the mediator for you know, for parties to reach an amicable solution. I don't understand.
As I know,
So I think the mediator
as I
has
mentioned,
very clearly
just
asked
now,
for a report. You don't have it. You
okay,
didn't have it earlier when I asked, and now when
madam,
she asks, you don't have it as well, Dato' Atan.
madam,
You could
I just
just
okay.
yeah.
As I mentioned, we have been live in this on this land since 1960. We do plantation for almost
He's going
60
to be
years. So
repeating this again
for
and again.
almost 60
Is
years.
everyone for?
And
Are you
also,
guys for real?
and also, we do the compost for 5 years. Nothing happened until last year. So how can you all say the nitrogen and phosphorus come from us? No such thing. if there is a nitrogen and phosphorus
Dato', I'm sorry,
from
we
our
never
plantation,
blamed
from our
the
farming, it
indigenous
happened
people.
so many
It
years
is not our
ago.
intention to put the indigenous people in the spotlight. It's not. I think you got the entire facts wrong.
We don't have so much money to get so fantastic research or lab report. We all know all this was 60 years, nothing happened until last year. We don't know where is this AB fertilizer come from. We are not like you all. We can trace everything. We don't have money.
Dato',
We only
you
know
can see the
somebody
culprit is very
trespass.
silent. The culprit is very silent. We've got nothing to do. We've just been unnecessarily
Yeah,
brought
we have
into
the
this.
report. We have
You
the
know,
report.
I
Maybe
think you are directing
Ellen can just tell them.
you are
Ellen,
directing the
can you
complaints
just
against
tell
the
them?
wrong person.
The AB fertilizer is actually carried out by WeTank directly.
We haven't got to
Atan,
you
let
yet,
me
Fresh
clear this
Veggie.
off.
I
The
think to be
AB,
honest,
no.
Fresh Veggie,
I think
you
everybody,
have
you all
got
need
all
to
your facts
relax.
unsubstantiated as
If
well. I
parties
mean,
can,
we
like,
have the report.
stop talking over each other, because I can't really hear who's talking and who's saying what. Okay, so Dato' Atan, you're saying that the report at the moment it's not ready, correct?
Yeah. But
Okay,
actually, we have the lab report. We have the report. We can share with everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would you undertake to share the
Yeah,
lab
sure.
report? Okay, we just put that on record. Okay.
I mean, we are not talking bluff or where we talk. All is based on our report. Ellen, just tell them what is the lab report talk about.
The lab report shows that the nitrogen percentage is 2% and the phosphorus is 50. And so
qualified.
that shows, sorry? Yeah. So that shows that that is a high level, right? You want to show, I can show, I will show to you, Zar. I will send the report to you. You can take a look.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one, I just want to add one thing is, so now,
so we are not lying.
It is this fresh veggie or VTank, they are trying to say that we cause our own land to be contaminated. But over 60 years, nothing
It is
happened.
WeTank's liability on this.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know it's fresh veggie or VTank. I just know somebody destroyed our land. Somebody destroyed, but definitely not us. We do farming for 60 years. Nothing happened.
Dato'
Yes,
Atan,
we
I'm on the
acknowledge
same
that, we
scenario
acknowledge
as
that.
you. We have been producing, we are the reliable company to produce fresh vegetable. Why would I even take the stand of building a tank near a farming compost yard? It's not built by us.
But the thing is on your land. You have to take care about that.
The build of the tank was done by WeTank.
Yeah, it was done by
very convenient, to put the blame on
say not their problem.
And
I'm
not going to engage in this.
okay,
So we are part of
time. Can we, like, you know,
are you saying that we are part of
calm
Because
down?
the project was awarded to you.
Are you saying
It was
that our
awarded
people
to you.
listen for
Everyone
that?
knows it was clearly published, or it was clearly newsed. You know, it was a news that saying that y'all are awarded by the project was awarded to you.
Grassy, I think you actually got the whole facts wrong as well. I don't know how. I mean, could you please enlighten her? Our contract with Fresh Veggie has got nothing to do with the national project that we have recently signed. I think some parties here ought to get their facts right.
Okay, I just want to clarify, Grassy, right? That the leak is due to the defect in the design of the tank which VTank has built. So do you have anything actually to support this allegation of yours? Grassy or Sun? You are muted, Sun.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Loud and clear.
Okay. Actually, fresh veggie respectfully reject any premature attribution of liability on this. Okay, the fertigation system was designed and constructed by VTank, and the cause of a leakage has not been conclusively determined. I will say that probably it's a problem from the VTank. It's not from a fresh veggie.
There's no
Okay.
conclusion on that as well. There's no
My
conclusion.
question is, do you have any document to actually prove that their design or the construction process was defective?
We do have evidence and documents that we can provide to you later.
Looks like no one came prepared for the mediation.
We did, but actually we will give it to you, the mediator, in a while. Give us some time. Be patient. We will provide to you soon. You can see in a while.
Yes, I've sent my report to Zar as well. So we came prepared, right?
We'll see about that.
Okay, I will look at that shortly. Okay, then the other thing is VTank. You have earlier at your opening statement, you have stated that you'll be sharing some documents to prove that the tank was constructed in accordance to design and there's actually no defects. I believe there's a report that you have wanted to share with us. Perhaps you could do it at this juncture.
Thank you, Ms. Mediator. Unlike contrary to all the parties here who claims they have the numbers, they have the reports, now here is the report. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so this expert report was conducted by a very independent senior expert, Dr. Araf Hakim, senior environmental engineer and contaminated land specialist. Yeah, okay, all right. So let us look at the very beginning of it. Okay, so we have the facts of the land, okay, the use of the land, and the compost activity, okay? It says that there is a lot of organic materials, and when you have organic materials, you have nitrogen and phosphorus. So the report goes on to analyze and see that nitrogen and phosphorus are essential plant nutrients commonly found in compost, Dr. Atan. Okay, these characteristics are universally recognized within the field of soil science. So this is general knowledge. In addition, okay, these natural processes actually can cause such nutrients to migrate beyond the immediate composting area. So a soil land over 10 acre definitely will exhibit the elevated nitrogen and phosphorus levels. 2% from 0.2? Yes, for sure. Okay, now, what the report concluded is that there is soil movement and erosion. And, okay, the expert conclusion, not mine, this erosion and agriculture activity can cause the nitrogen and phosphorus to spread over the land. Again, you see, due to this, okay, now
Okay.
our fertilizer tanks, right? Okay, I'm sure fresh veggie would like to see. Okay, I'm sure that when you see this clause, soil instability. Now you see, we built our tanks to the highest maximum standards, okay? But when freak of nature incidents happen, such as, unpredictable things like, landslides, earthquakes, of course it will definitely lead to, such things. But this is beyond our purview. Because when there is soil erosion as such, it will compromise the structural integrity as well from the start. So now, it's not just our tanks, you see. You see, fresh veggie, the problem is what's inside the tank. You see, you guys control the land, occupy the land. You guys actually decide what to put in our tanks. And that is the thing that will cause leakage. What is leakage if there is an empty tank, fresh veggie? So, technically, liability should fall on your side, Fresh Veggie. I'm sorry to say that, because no matter how you like to evade or run and hide, anything that you put in our tanks, in the event of soil weakening, structural consequences, defects, it will leak out into the soil and it will cause damage to our dear Orang Asli friends. So it is such a tragic situation when you see Fresh Veggie, the most reliable and trusted company indeed, yes, should be more careful in actually selecting what you put in our tanks before you actually point the blame to us. I rest my case.
Hood, I might have a few questions to you. Just checking, this report prepared, has it been shared to the other parties before this?
It's not. We didn't receive anything.
Right. My apologies on that side. My client would
I
be
think you
able to
should,
more
Mr.
happily
Hart.
Maybe I could assist my counsel, because to be honest, we had conducted the request for an expert opinion once we were notified by Grassi that there was a demand that was forthcoming. To be honest, I don't think there's any other party here, particularly Grassi. I have to make this very clear. I don't see any concern that they had raised the moment they knew a demand was coming their way. I'm sorry, with due respect, I have to say this. So the moment we knew, we got the ball rolling to get this mediation organized. And in fact, to be honest, our main concern was not with regards to the position that Grassi may be taking at the moment. That's the least of our concern. We are more concerned about the indigenous people, and like I've mentioned before, it's our position, our reputation at stake here. This demand is not targeted against VTang. We need to get this fact straight. So since we requested for this mediation, and of course with respect, and thank you very much to the parties who are present today who were agreeable to the mediation, I think every party should be prepared to face the matters that are going to be discussed or that will be brought up during this mediation session, including whatever steps and next course of action that you would have had to take. So we took that extra steps. In fact, we did not have to do this. We have incurred additional cost and expense at our time. We have actually put in a lot of effort in only establishing the point that the existing soil, we are in this industry. We do this day in, day out. We deal with these kind of soil rehabilitation and similar methods of irrigation. We do this. We are the experts in this field. So we know to a large extent when a particular land is being used as a compost yard and you are actually dealing with compost materials, there's already an inherent, if I may say, condition that can aggravate the nitrogen and phosphorus levels in the soil. In addition, I honestly don't know what the issue is with Grassi's position. I really don't know. But our quality control is, we have got a distinguished reputation in our quality control. Now, we are only assigned to build and construct tanks. The substance that go into our tank, I think Hart has already said, it's beyond our control. We really don't know what this AB liquid fertilizer, we don't know the contents, we don't know the composition, we really don't know. Our expert opinion was premised on the fact that we needed to address as an immediate measure to reduce the loss to Dato' Watan, to the Orang Asli, the indigenous people. It's purely in their best interest. And of course, like I said, our reputation is at stake. So we needed to take measures, and we are not looking at certain measures that may be anticipated by parties because of time factor. we are considering, like what you have mentioned before, Man and Zah. I think the concern here is that the environmental issues, whether it's socially agreeable, how are the indigenous people going to be compensated? This were all, I agree with you, our consideration, primary consideration. So we did that. Yes, we did the expert report. So coming back to your concern as to whether we have produced it, no, but I think nothing stops any other parties here from producing their expert evidence to the contrary. If there is none, then I think we should not be unnecessarily burdened or imposed with a high standard of circulating our expert opinion. It's an individual private expert opinion. I think anybody is entitled to get it. I mean, if Grassy, you were interested, I think your counsel mentioned earlier, I think you guys should have taken the effort. We should not be blamed.
Okay, we are going to take that point later, but can I just have the date of the report, please?
Do you have it with you, Hart?
Yes, I do. Now, the date of the report is actually very, very recent, actually, in fact. It's this year, on the 4th of April, 2026. That was a Saturday.
All right. Thank you so much. I do believe that upon hearing this joint session, it seems that it's better for all the parties actually to go into caucus so that maybe more calm explanation, justification can be derived just between the parties, one by one per se. Maybe Zar, do you want to at least explain a bit about overview of what caucus is, perhaps, please?
Yes, sure. Okay, just very quickly, what caucus is. Caucus is basically a private session where I will actually meet with parties privately. Caucus, I'm going to use this caucus to actually help to clarify some concerns that Man and I do have, without the other parties, so that you are able to speak more freely, perhaps. And then it might assist us in helping to resolve your dispute. Either one of you can call a caucus at any time if you want to, or when you want to share something in confidence. We can use caucus as many times as we want. If we caucus with one party, we will definitely caucus with the other. We are not just going to say, okay, I'll caucus with Dr. Atan and not the rest of the parties. And the other thing is, please do not assign the significance of the length of the caucus to anything. It doesn't mean that the longer the caucus is, it means that we are looking at their perspective or we are taking that side. No such thing. Confidentiality. The information that you share during caucus is also confidential. It will not be shared during the joint discussions unless you actually give us consent to make such disclosure. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's what caucus is. So I think now we can proceed with the first caucus with Dato' Atan and Ellen. Would that be okay?
Yep, I think we can join the breakout rooms. We'll go with the orang asli first. So Dato' Atan and Ellen, please join me and Zar in the caucus room now. Okay, good evening, Dato' Atan and Ellen. Thank you so much for joining us, me and Zar, for the first caucus session. It seems that when the joint sessions happened, parties cannot address the point properly because it's too much emotional involvement during that session. And for that reason, we bring you guys both in this caucus. So this is a private session with the representative of Tasik Besar Orang Asli Corporation. As explained earlier, this session is confidential. Our purpose here is just to better understand your priorities, perhaps concerns, and also expectations in a more candid setting. Nothing shared during this session will be disclosed to the other parties unless any of you actually expressly authorizes to do so. So feel free to let us know which part is doable for us to share with other parties. Okay, I'll start with a few questions. Firstly, I would like to actually better understand your compensation expectations. I start with that for the reason that we are actually trying to flow up our settlement, and definitely when we talk about settlement, you are the main character here. There must be a certain financial things to be discussed at stake. I understand that your current possession is this, a claim of 20 million ringgit, but can you assist us in understanding how this figure was determined? For example, does this amount actually primarily affect the direct financial losses, soil restoration and the rehabilitation costs, rehabilitation costs, maybe a certain long-term disruption to your farming operations, reputational harm, or maybe a combination of these factors. So just please enlighten us how this 20 million demand is derived at the first place.
Yeah, one, I think first of all, just now we are really not happy with that. You see, they are trying to push the responsibility to the other. I mean, nobody going to answer that, and we need our people to be compensated. So the 20 million actually, we just our basis calculation, we have 200 family here. So we just estimate about one family for 100,000. 100,000 for one family. If let's say the land cannot be used for 10 years, 20 years, how much they can get for every year actually? If let's say 10 years, one family only can get 10,000 for 1 year. 10,000 for one family actually not enough. See, our request is very, very low. But this is what's suggested by my lawyer. But now, even the 20 million also, they will just say like that. They will just push. They just want to avoid the responsibility. But if you ask us, actually, I think, Ellen, I think there is another way to restore the land, right?
Right. So with the restoration of the land, okay, there is an alternative. So the alternative is we plant a jungle tree. Okay.
Sorry, you plant a what? Plant a what, sorry?
A jungle tree.
Oh, okay, jungle tree. Okay.
A jungle tree. Okay. Because now our land is totally destroyed, ruined. Okay. And that is also on the fact that that's why we want to get compensation, or we just have to work something out with them or whatever so that they can help us for us to restore our land. Okay, we find an alternative. Okay, although we really like our composter yard, okay, the composter yard is the heart of us, Orang Asli farm, right? But sadly, it's gone. So we humble ourselves to find an alternative, right? So the alternative we find is to get a jungle tree. But we get the alternative to be jungle tree, but they need to help us in giving the financial or whatsoever, and they have to make sure that, if they don't want to give us money, they want to give us the soil or the fertilizer or whatever, they must be good quality. Okay, it's because of this AB fertilizer that has caused the leakage and therefore has caused the damage of our composter yard.
Okay,
So
sorry. Okay, it's just help me to understand properly. So the proposed settlement is this. Option 1, plant the jungle tree at the yard. Option 2, if you don't want to plant the jungle tree at the yard, then pay 100,000 for each family, which is equivalent to 20 million.
Yes, but
So
honestly, Puan, it's not only jungle. There is a plan to restore the land. Actually, it's put something else. I think they know. Actually, somebody discussed to us. I think the Fresh Veggie and VTech know about how to do the restoration. if you ask me, our people, we grew up here. We use the land to survive. So we need the land. We need the land. But at the same time, I think the restoration takes times. But how they are going to compensate within these few years? Actually, our people, they don't have any other skill. They only know how to do farming. So if you ask, we want the land, we want the land, we want the land, we want to solve our temporary loss of income these few years. I think this few years we can discuss, okay, or they can provide a working opportunity.
Okay.
They say want to export Singapore, Brunei, can they offer some opportunity to our people?
Okay, all right, Dato' Atan. Just for me to understand correctly, option 1, plan jungle tree at the yard. Option 2 is 20 million. Option 3 is working opportunities. This should be read disjunctively, either one, right? Not or. Not and, sorry.
But if they restore
Mm,
during the times of the restoration, how about us? We earn nothing. I mean, they should give us some compensation. Maybe not 20 million. We can compromise. We can reduce the amount, but some reasonable lah. If they cannot give us some money, at least provide us some working opportunity. We are not greedy people. We are not asking for the money. We want to survive. We just want to survive.
We want the land, most importantly.
Yeah, we want the land. We want to earn our livelihood. That's all. I mean, kita bukan orang tamak lah, right? We are not greedy. We just want our life.
Just want to clarify the soil restoration, right? It's going to take time. So the time that's taken, it's not really an issue to you as long as working opportunities are offered. Am I right?
Yes.
But
Yeah,
what about I mean, just a suggestion, like orang asli, you all are very good with your hands, you can make your own handicrafts, you can sell it, or you can actually open up your village to visitors so they can come and visit. And I'm thinking if you could propose this to the other parties, to say that if they assist you in setting this up, okay, if they give you the costing, okay, to start working on this alternative business opportunity, would you be open to it?
It sounds workable. We can talk to our people. I think it's workable. It's workable. Yeah, because before that they keep saying they want the land. We want the land now. But at the same time, temporarily, yeah, this madam, your solution is acceptable. I think we can talk to the people, like Ellen. We can talk to our people, right?
Okay, the other thing I would like to know. Oh, sorry. I would just like to know, is there any alternative site that you could seek? Since now the land is not suitable, is barren. So is there any alternative site, within your village that y'all can look into?
Not much.
Actually, not much. Actually, we want the land back, that one. Actually, if you ask me the 20 million, one thing I want to tell you here is just between us, 20 million, even we calculate 200 family for 1,000 and 100,000.
100,000.
Actually, we already talk to some company. We will use this 20 million part of the money. We use that to restore the land. We want it to restore the land. Yeah.
Okay, but if
that will be the fun
or
for
Fresh
us to
Veggie,
restore.
if they are paying for the restoration costs, would it then be possible for y'all to lower down that threshold, the 20 million?
Yeah, definitely. If they can,
we can compromise.
So we can explore that.
Yeah, we can.
Provided
Then,
that they pay for the restoration cost.
Yeah, while waiting, they do the restoration, like madam suggestions, we can have some alternative earning for our people. Then we'll be fine. We can talk to our people. I believe they will accept. I believe they will accept.
Thank you so much, Dato' Atan, for actually being very flexible in the alternative for the settlement. We actually really appreciate that. That's what we want to hear at the first juncture. So, that is to say, right? From a practical standpoint, what are your primary objective in this mediation? So that we can actually narrow down which option suits you based on your what you want actually. Is it your focus primarily maybe on the full financial composition? Maybe it's more on the restoration of the affected land. Maybe it's the acknowledgement of your responsibility since you've been there before Merdeka still. Maybe it's the protection of your agricultural identity and NGO standing, or perhaps a broader combination of these concerns. This is really important for us to narrow down which is your first primary option in the settlement later on.
We want the land. We want the land. We want the land back. We want the land. Because this is from our nene moyang, all this. We all live here. We don't want to move other place. We want the money also to restore the land. We witness all these things. This is our home. Nobody can take them out from us.
And to tell from a more, because I work in the lab and I am also part of the NGO, I can tell you that the government takes the NGO report very seriously. And I've submitted my report to the government, right, on this issue on having excess nitrogen and phosphorus. And so the government knows about it. So we are not lying or anything. Okay. I've already submitted it, and the government also know that we want to protect our land because that is the nature, the heart.
Definitely lah.
of
You've been
orang asli.
it's more likely like that's your jewel. You've been having lots of attachment to it since day one. So I do
Yes.
understand where the standpoint comes from. Um Zar, do you have any additional question for Dato' Atan and Ellen?
Just to recap, right? We are going to bring this exploration of possible settlements to them. One, your priority is have the soil restored, right? Soil reparation, right? You want the land restored. That's one. Second is the 200 million, right? That you would like as compensation,
the
but you
financial
are
recovery.
but you are willing to reduce the sum if they are paying for restoration cost.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah,
Okay.
we are reasonable.
Okay, number three is at the time of the restoration, you'll be given business opportunities that they contribute to the cost of the handicraft business or the setting up of the visits from the public to your village. Correct?
Yep.
Okay. If that's the case, then we will talk to the other parties. Right? Okay,
Thanks.
and we'll see how they feel about this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, madam.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so E-Tank and Council, we have spoken to Dato' Atan and Ellen. So they are willing to explore settlement. They have actually given us three proposals. Okay, first thing is the land is their priority. They have stated that. And so with that, they are looking to have the soil repaired. Yeah, I want to have the soil repaired, the land repaired, but cost to be borne either by or together by you and Fresh Veggie.
Okay, before that, as with the other caucuses, this discussion is confidential and conducted on a without prejudice basis. Nothing shared here will be disclosed to the other parties unless you expressly authorize us to do so. So, as Zar mentioned just now, there's definitely certain alternative provided by Orang Asli. But at this stage, I would like to focus on your position. So first on your IPO exposure. I do understand that VTank's Malaysian branch office is currently in the midst of listing exercise on Bursa, correct?
Yes, absolutely right.
Okay, could you probably assist us in explaining how this ongoing dispute particularly in relation to the environmental allegations and potential regulatory scrutiny may affect those investors' confidence or the timing of the listing process.
Sorry, Man, maybe we can just go straight to the proposals, and see whether, they're amenable to it first. Because then later on that we can go into the IPOs and that. Because right now I think our priority is to reach a settlement if parties are amenable to it. Would that be okay?
Okay,
If,
sure.
since I've already started with the first proposal, right, which is the soil reparation. And then the second one, they maintain the 20 million ringgit demand as compensation, but they are willing to reduce the amount if VTank or Fresh Veggie or Fresh Veggie will cover the reparation cost. Okay, that's option 2. All right. And
Sorry,
okay.
they are agreeable to the to reduce the 20 million compensation, provided either us and Fresh Veggie or together will do what?
Will pay for the restoration cost.
Oh,
the reparation cost, yeah.
right, okay.
Yeah. And then thirdly, because since the soil reparation actually takes time
Yes.
to actually conclude, they would like that if
Working
VTank
opportunities.
or Fresh Veggie are able to help them out, they would like to start a business in making handicrafts and also opening up their village for visits. So if VTank and or Fresh Veggie could assist them with the costing to start running this business, yeah, then they are open to this
Financial
settlement.
assistance to do something out of the regular, out of their. So to give them financial assistance to assist them to do something.
While waiting, yeah.
Yes, okay.
Because it will actually take about a year or so for the soil to be repaired. So they do need a source of income. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, just to clarify, what reparation do you refer to for the 20 million demand?
The 20 million demand?
Yeah, what reparation?
The soil to be repaired. They said they believe this has been discussed with you, where they put topsoils, cocoa peat, and a mixture of organic materials to be added to the damaged soils to repair the soil.
Okay.
It's a process, yeah.
They're saying that so long as the soil is repaired, the 20 million is off lah.
They can reduce the 20 million.
They can reduce the 20 million provided that. Yeah, so they won't claim for the total 20 million, provided that you actually plant a jungle tree on the yard for the restoration process.
It's okay, Had. We will hear them first on the proposal, and then we can address them. But because both me and Had, we've come quite prepared, and we're quite pleased to hear the proposals, though, but not entirely agreeable. But it's somewhat aligned to what we would like to represent as well. So let's hear you on your final proposal as well.
Yeah, that's all 3 proposals.
Oh, sorry. So your third proposal was actually the financial assistance while waiting for the land reparation. Okay, okay.
Yeah, for them to just start the business, maybe to get the costing, for the handicrafts, and also to set up the village so it look like a place that people can visit. Minor renovations.
It just starts as a startup companies where they need fund to initiate their business. So they are asking if you guys are willing to pump certain fund in order for them to jump it off initially.
I think there is some sort of connection, some interruption. The council is. Yeah, okay, he's back. I was just going to start off just to address both the mediators, Man and Sa. If I can quickly, if Za, you wouldn't mind, I think I would like to address Hiba's concern earlier regarding the IPO, because honestly, if you recall, our position is twofold. Firstly, we are prioritizing the indigenous people's interests. And secondly, we are very, very, very concerned about our reputation. And coming to the reputation, here is where the damage lies, because we have a branch here in Malaysia that's actually going for the IPO listing. Now, what's going to happen is that, of course, our stake holding in the branch in Malaysia will reflect us. And obviously that will then be triggered should there be a contentious litigation that escalates to the Malaysian courts. And we are just afraid because we have the bankers, we have other the underwriters, we have several parties that are engaging with us at the moment for the listing requirements that are closely looking at our progress and our overall performance. Now, we definitely know for a fact that, and I think my council will also address these issues, that the moment a demand or a contentious litigation matter is triggered, it's going to be flagged. And this may either put on hold, it might stall the entire listing process. And, there's a risk that we might not even get listed. And the thing is that we are actually engaging with the agricultural ministry with the in a national project, and I'm very sure that it is, as much as it's a concern, that's public concern here because it's a national project. We also are a renowned company that has a international reputation. So either way, we don't want to do this. And if, to be honest, we have actually produced, I've given my council the contract that we have signed sometime in March. So we have the contract here. I mean, for some very strange reason, I think there's a very unreasonable leverage that either the NGO, we still maintain that we are concerned about the indigenous people. But this NGO, I don't know, somewhat, I think that there's some sort of invisible hand here. You cannot threaten us with this issue just because there's a public interest. We are saying it readily to you that we also care for the indigenous people, and we have come prepared for today's mediation to propose our way forward. But you cannot leverage on that demand against us.
Understand.
It shouldn't be. But very unfortunately, my council also confirmed this with me, that there's a term in the letter of intent contract that we have signed that expressly says that the ministry takes it very seriously. The moment there is a trigger on a public interest issue, we can be terminated of this contract. And look at it, the loss that we are talking about is 50 billion. So what are parties talking here over an unjustified amount for compensation of 20 million compared to our national, international reputation, your national project, and of course financial loss? Who will bear this loss? So we don't want to get to.
Basically, the risk may attract the attention from the Ministry of Agriculture or the regulatory bodies in your listing.
Definitely. And we don't want this.
I do think that you have a lot at stake here. I mean,
yes, absolutely.
There's a lot on the table.
Yes,
and
despite not being directly named in the demand that the indigenous people have actually started initiating, we are still here. And I think if at the very least, I think our genuineness must be glaring to everyone. We are here with no hidden agenda. We want to resolve this. We want an amicable solution. We want to help the indigenous people. And whoever is responsible for this should pay the price. But that person or that entity is not us.
All right, thank you so much for that perspective. We can follow up where you stand now. Perhaps to Hood, I just need further understanding on the alleged leakage. Your council may answer it. If your stance is that the issue may due to the external land movement, are there any commercial considerations that might arise if technical investigation suggests contributory design or perhaps construction issues, even partially to you?
Yeah, thank you. Actually, well, you know that we are now a listed company already. So technically, everything we have to do also we have to disclose, right? So all material risks have to be accurately represented, and then any ongoing, for example, defects or liabilities, they cannot be mischaracterized. So on our side, it's very clear, our contract with Fresh Veggie clearly state that we have produced a very perfect tank. So eventually it's a chicken and egg issue, I would say, because we designed the tanks, but what this company put into the tanks, will eventually also attract liability as well. So regarding the soil erosion, actually the report clearly stated that it's present in the case, and it is conclusive. In fact, I believe Fresh Veggie also just now wanted to produce another report also to assert a similar thing as well. So we cannot rule out soil erosion, and soil erosion is definitely something beyond all our control. Definitely, I would call it something like more of a force majeure event. So attracting liability, yes, but not to an extent where we have to bear a full cost 20 million. That is just absurd.
Yeah. But 20 million compared to your 50 billion contract, I think it kind of like outweighs it, isn't the risk of losing a 50 billion contract and to actually pay out a 20 million ringgit compensation to the orang asli.
We can't pay full because simply unless
we won't pay at all, actually, to be honest.
If the tank was empty, then fine, but the tank was not.
Okay, so you do admit that there is a leakage on the tank, but it's actually due to the soil erosion. Right.
No, what we are saying is, sorry, Hart, I think what Hart is trying to say is that we anticipate with soil erosion, the possibility is there for a leakage to be occasioned. But it's not an inherent defect on our tanks. It's not. It's not. So, yeah.
Okay, so in constructing in constructing the tank, right? Are there any second line containment done to the tanks? Like double wall tanks, PVC liner or a concrete containment pad, in case that there is a leakage, there is another layer to actually control the seepage. Because you did say that you did anticipate, landslide, soil erosion, happening. So was this actually done?
We don't anticipate for there to be a soil erosion, but what we're trying to say is that there is, of course, a exclusion liability clause that has been put in our contract only because the design and construction of our tanks is close to nil or impossible for any defect to surface. It would not, unless there are circumstances from the outside that triggers it to happen. To be honest, till to date, we have never received any issues with our fertilizer tank build and construction. In fact, you can see our profile. We have got a very watertight system, or rather technology, in which we have actually built our fertilizer tank. And above that, I hear the representative for the indigenous people saying that, for the past 1 year. Let me make this very clear. Fresh Veggie has never, ever informed us that there is such an issue pertaining to our tanks. We don't know about it till now, at present, when there's a demand against Fresh Veggie. We never, ever received any complaints of any defect or any issues at all on our tanks. So our representation is certain. Our tanks are actually, if I may say, it's quite a superhero tanks. We are the experts in this technology, in this industry. We are. So we take pride and we are very proud of that.
So to your super tanks, right? Was there any containment work done? Like I've inquired earlier, is there like a second layer done to?
Yes, we have the technologies in place, but perhaps if you want me to highlight it, I could share the my profile that actually has the exact, but it's very technical though. If you if you wanted to see it. Just 1 minute. I am not a very tech savvy person. But do you think you can help me here, Hud, if we can just pull up our company profile that speaks about our...
Okay.
By the way, I do really appreciate you guys really come prepared with all the
Yes,
contracts, reports, and also business. Thank you so much. It really helps us in
Yes.
negotiating, in navigating the settlement later.
Yes.
Yes.
I appreciate that due recognition is given to us. Yeah, I mean, actually, to be honest, I think, you know, some things are classified as trade secrets. Some things are there. If you ask me, to be honest, well, I mean, I can give you my word on it that it has got this protection or protective measures taken in order to avoid any leakages. But I wouldn't dare to tell you that it is the particular kind of measure that you are referring to. But you can see our technology has been adequately described to avoid a drip irrigation system. If I am sorry, Hard, if you can just focus on page 4, you can see here that that you see the fertigation system, sorry. These are the benefits, and the solutions include drip irrigation system, automated irrigation control, water optimization planning, soil rehab. So if particularly with drip irrigation system, I think perhaps it could cover what you are looking for. But I stand corrected, Zah. I mean, I think there are certain things that, you know, probably we are also limited. You know, we probably got to be very careful in the information that we share. But this is what we have, and you can have a read at this, and we are okay for you to share this. But the entire workings and technology is adequately identified here in our profile.
I do see
So
that
page
one of
4
the
of your profile,
services.
right?
Sorry, say that again.
Page 4 of the profile, right? And
Yes,
we are allowed
yes.
to share this later.
That's our fertigation systems. Yes.
Yeah, and page 5 as well.
Mm.
So yeah, the technology that we use.
Okay, I do see that you provide a soil restoration and soil rehabilitation services. So would you be willing to explore this option, you know, for your company to offer to restore the soil for the orang asli with no cost?
Okay. How do you want to address this for us, or shall I take them through the report that we have come up with the proposed soil rehabilitation?
Right.
Maybe you want to do that? Yeah, maybe you want to do that.
Okay.
As you can see, we came well prepared.
Yes.
Okay.
And we will address on point on the proposals that have been put forward, and we trust that you would be in agreement with us that our proposals would facilitate both satisfying the motive or the objective that the indigenous people want achieved. I think we have done this. I'll just explain. This is actually a grant proposal that we are willing to assist the indigenous people with because of our close relationship and alliance with the government of Malaysia. We trust that this, because it involves the indigenous people, there is a public interest concern, and any recommendation coming from an international industry player like us to support the indigenous people would not be sidelined or refused. In fact, it is a very sustainable program that we are proposing on behalf of the indigenous people. We also have actually suggested a very reasonable and cost-efficient measure on rehabilitating the 10 acres soil. In fact, we don't agree with the reparation of 1 year and the cost involved. I think it is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And we have a more cost-efficient measure, which is in the long run, very sustainable, addresses your environmental interest concerns. And it's also the most commercially prudent measure that we are of the view would benefit the indigenous people. So perhaps, Hart, maybe you can just take them through the process and what we are suggesting. Thank you.
Indeed. All right. Thank you, V. Actually, yes, the company actually specializes in ensuring the fertigation of the soil can be restored within a 12-month period. So I believe that this is a very viable solution. We have 3 phases of it. The first 3 phases and the second phase, actually, the first and second phase run concurrently, as you can see, from months 1 to 3, months 1 to 6. Why? Because the process of rehabilitation is not just involving inputting the nutrients, but it's also soil stability, meaning that you're covering it with the grass, the legumes, which actually root down deep into the soil and actually help to stabilize it while the soil takes the time to heal. Okay, and ultimately it will progress into agroforestry. I can see that this is actually something that it is very feasible because we have allocated this budget, and it's actually on a goodwill basis actually, because we're not bound by contract, any form of contract, to your honesty, legally speaking. Our contract is only with the other company, and which on their side, they should have done their part. See, like our side, we have offered to the Orang Asli community to actually do this. So the impact is, of course, very reasonable, ultimately, and the implementation timeline. I believe it is a measurable and possible outcome, a workable solution, in lieu of the reparation that has been demanded by their side.
So this is a 5-year implementation plan, is it? Because the trees mature at the 5th year. It takes up to 5 years.
It's actually up to 12 months. Okay.
12?
We can restore 12 months. However, I beg your pardon?
No, I think her question, Hart, was on the trees, the part where you, I think, scroll down. Right. Okay, so she's talking about this part here.
Yes.
The tree maturation.
This is just a rough estimation because sometimes trees are already mature by the 1st or 2nd year. Some trees take longer to bloom, but ultimately it's 2 to 5 years. Some don't bloom at all. So this is just a rough estimation. Technically, the yield will be there in 12 months, meaning that soil stability and improvement can be concluded within a 1-year period.
Okay, so the funding that you stated there, the 257,000, right? Is this going to be absorbed by VTank?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. So this is the offer that you are willing to put on the table, the soil reparation. If I can
so
confirm it.
Actually, if I may just interrupt for a moment here, actually this proposal that we have here for the soil rehabilitation is by virtue of a grant. What we are saying is we stand in for the indigenous people for that sum. But honestly, where this money is coming from is actually from the government itself. This is actually a grant that we would support and apply on behalf of the indigenous people for their benefit. And so if you see the workings of this this entire proposal, we have proposed to divide the 10 acres into 4 different zones. Now, if with the typical reparation cost, which just involves the topsoil, cocoa peat, and compost, what has been suggested is that reparation work move across the 10 acres simultaneously, and then the intention is to actually build your jungle trees. Now, this is not only going to be burdensome on cost, it's also going to take a longer time because maturity of these trees, I think you correctly pointed out, it's not overnight, and it is even doubted if you are going to see it within the 1 year. It's impossible. So we have actually put in a very realistic timeline when we gave you that phase of months 1 to 12, which is actually the physical reparation work. And because we have split it to the zones, now not all land of the 10 acres would be for jungle trees. We are dividing them because of the extent of the contamination. We really don't know to what extent. And anyway, we know that the indigenous people have not been using the entire 10 acres. So technically speaking, we really don't know the extent of this contamination. But we're working on the pretext that it involves the entire 10 acres. We are still going to spread it according to phases. But whilst the soil treatment is going on, say for example in phase 1, in months 1 and 3, you would then have your second zone. You would already be going into your stabilization perhaps, because it overlaps, as you can see, months 1 to 6. It's ready for the stabilization process. So technically with this, you are not waiting for the entire reparation process to be completed overall on the 10 acres. So it is very reasonably spread over the 10 acres, allowing the indigenous people to probably continue with their whatever activities that they've already been carrying on the land. So we feel that it's actually a very viable proposal. We have even listed down the potential. Let me see. I think we have also said the kind of crops or the kind of measures that they could actually undertake on the 10 acres according to the zone. So they can start off on 4 acres with intensive vegetable farming, which means they're not losing out. Maybe 3 acres in zone B, mixed crops. You can find this entire site layout plan at pages 3 and 4. And we have also, then we went on to the agroforestry buffer, and then we also have their existing compost and water management. All's not lost because they are still maintaining what they do best. So we've drawn up a summary, and we are of the view, in order to execute this, all you need is a funding of 257,175 ringgit, which we are saying that we will stand out and we would get this grant for them. And if you see the return of investment for assuming the grant is successful, which we are pretty confident about, their current revenue, this is not even applying over the 10 acres. This is only a fraction of their land, because I believe that they have only utilized 1,800 square feet within the 10 acre for the composter yard, but we don't know their entire vegetation covers across how much of that land. So, but we calculated, premised on the 10,000, the current revenue should by right generate 150,000 profit per year. But with this measure, your projected revenue increases to 210 per year, and that is a net gain of 60,000 per year for them. Yeah.
So, okay, just to clarify, okay, on top of this application for grant that we are willing to take on, would you also be willing to offer the financial assistance while they await this soil rehabilitation to conclude? The third proposal that we have mentioned earlier just now.
Yeah, correct. Because with this, we actually address proposal number 1 and proposal number 3, which now leaves us only with proposal number 2, which is the compensation. Right. Now, I think it's too much for us to burden if we were to also pay compensation, despite the support and the assurance that we are willing to give the indigenous people. We are looking at fostering long-term relationship with the government of Malaysia. We have a reputation that I think none of the parties, if damaged, would be able to compensate us. I think having said that, I think damages is not on the table for us. We are not going to compensate any party, but our assurance, our support, our word is on the table that we will go all out to assist the indigenous people in recovering their land, the heart of their claim. We concede on that.
So
legally, we are not obliged.
Only the soil reparation, is it? The financial assistance while they await the soil reparation.
So this is where the proposal will kick in, because with our proposal there is there will not be a time where the indigenous people would not be able to utilize their land.
Because of the
So-
zones that you
Yes,
mentioned.
that's
Okay,
right.
okay,
So the
understood.
entire land is not going to be just abandoned or not in use for the entire 1 year if we follow the existing reparation process. Because we are in this industry, we perhaps have an added advantage to suggest something that is not only commercially prudent to do, but this is the most sustainable solution moving forward. So we are very convinced, we are confident with the proposal that we are putting forward. And I think perhaps if there is a higher allocation or budget for the grant, if that's what they want, we can, perhaps we can look into that. I can't give an assurance because we are not ultimately the party that would be granting the budget, but we will definitely give our full support. Like I mentioned, our word is on the table for them. So we can try and endeavor to convince a higher budget if that's what you want.
Okay, we just maybe one last point for the application of grant. See, there is a certain overhead expenses, miscellaneous and all. Would we think willing to bear the additional cost? Maybe some of the miscellaneous like legal costs, things like that.
The extent of the miscellaneous causes, perhaps if you can just enlighten, because I don't know what to expect. I'm sorry.
Because there's application of grant, definitely there's certain sum and fees that need to be paid to the regulatory bodies.
I'm
Maybe
pretty sure if it's a minute sum,
I think if it's a negligible sum,
yeah, I do not think
I
it would
think
be
just
a
the minor
high
I
sum.
believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it won't be as much as legal fees or what, but that's just minor miscellaneous in making sure that it's executed. So
I think any ancillary cost that goes towards the presentation of the grant and the workings of getting the paper in. I think all those miscellaneous costs, I think it's quite negligible to us, and we wouldn't be asking the indigenous people to do it. Like I said, we would stand out to do it, we would complete it, we would ensure that the grant would be given in favor of the indigenous people. I think this should be the primary concern, being in this industry.
Okay.
as long as it's the standards fee are not excessive, right?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank
I
you
think
so
that's
much.
all for now.
Have anything else that we should highlight here?
You can always call for another caucus if you feel that there's a need, for you to speak with us again privately. I think for now, okay. All right.
I don't know if you would want the reports extended to you, or it's sufficient that you have had a viewing of it here. But if you need any copies, I think my counsel has it.
We would appreciate if we can have a copy of the report as well.
Sure.
So we can look at the proposal for the soil rehabilitation, so we can look at the timelines.
Yes, absolutely.
Would you mind sharing your soil rehabilitation proposal, please?
Oh, okay. Yeah, give me one.
Would you like me to share?
It's good, don't worry, I have it. It's okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Okay, share screen. So, dear mediators, thank you for your proposal. On our side, we have a soil rehabilitation proposal. I'll share my screen now.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Hood.
Okay. Screen. Okay. Soil rehabilitation proposal. Okay. Okay.
Okay, would you mind going to paragraph 3, the paragraph on methodology? Three.
Okay.
Okay,
Alright.
here, right? I just want to just clarify because when I was looking through the proposal, it does seem to me that the stages they are not concurrently. It's actually it goes right after each other. Because you did mention that there'll be no gap left for the soil rehabilitation. You said it will be done by phases, and then there'll be no gap left, you know. So, and when I was looking at this, it does seem, I mean, I stand corrected. It does seem to me that is actually phase by phase, stages by stages. I don't think it's something that runs concurrently, except for phase 1 and phase 2. There's an overlap of 3 months, the first 3 months. But other than that, it does seem to me that to complete all these 3 phases, you actually need a time of 24 months to completely rehabilitate the soil until it is ready to be used.
If I may, yeah, if I may concur actually. Actually, the proposed soil rehabilitation program, yes, it's phase 1, and it takes 3 months only. However, at the same time, we will have phase 2 also because they can actually run concurrently from our methodology here. So meaning that first 3 months, we rehabilitate, at the same time we stabilize. So rehabilitation is a process where we introduce all these topsoil cocoa peat, right, to improve the structure. And once it's all there, that's when we add in the cover crops. So stabilization and soil rehabilitation actually run concurrently and is immediately followed by stabilization for the next 3 months. At the same time, you notice for phase 3, right, our agroforestry, it begins from month 3. So we can also have stabilization and also planting those permanent jungle trees, those nursery plants, for them to grow throughout this 2-year period. So yes, actually the soil will be rehabilitated in a 3-month period. And in fact, we go beyond and above that by stabilizing the soil and also proceeding to implement the permanent jungle trees already.
Okay, so am I right to say that after 3 months, the orang asli can actually use the land for plantation? Or they have to
Yes.
wait until the whole process is completed, i.e. 24 months?
I would say that at least 6 months is required, but by
6
3 months, the soil will be rehabilitated.
Okay, so but
If
there's
I
only
could, if I could just add to what my counsel just represented, he's perfectly right on that. But with the concurrent rehabilitation, because I think the site layout plan is also very important, because we're talking about a 10-acre land, and it is not that all of the entire zone in the 10-acre is subject to rehabilitation, or rather the phases all at once. So
Yes.
we are taking it according to stages, like what my counsel has clearly established. So yes, to your question, that whether would the land be susceptible for agriculture, the simple answer would be yes.
Just to confirm, you have actually tried to execute this kind of plan at other project?
Well, like I mentioned, this is only because of the complexity of the parties that are involved. Because we're talking about the indigenous people and we know how important they are, we have undertaken to come up with this proposal, having in mind that yes, we already do fertigation, and we are quite an active industry player. So yes, we do have our experts, we do have our in-house talents that are able to come up with these kind of plans. On top of that, we have done the adequate research based on the Malaysian agricultural system. So, and this is what we have come up with. So we are pretty confident that this would be workable in the Malaysian context.
All right,
Okay.
thank you.
So I'm just confirming again. So am I right to say that the land is only be able to be used after 6 months, correct? After the start of the rehabilitation.
Perhaps like my counsel mentioned earlier, the first 3 months, there is already part of the 10-acre land that would already been subject to soil rehabilitation. So depending on the quality or nature of this rehabilitation affecting the land that may not be overall deeply impacted by the contamination, perhaps agriculture work can get on straight away.
Mediators, we come from a perspective of goodwill. If you want to say for precision's sake, yes. In fact, from 1 to 3 months, the soil can actually be rehabilitated. We give the rough figure lah, but the earliest it can be rehabilitated is actually 1 month actually. But then we want to make it more certain in the sense that give 3 months, and on top of that, we want to be very sure that the soil is also stable. Hence, we give another 3 months. So 6 months is like the latest figure. It can even
Yes.
be way before that.
It can be doable in way earlier, but it just
That's
for a
right.
safety guard
Getting a
in
safe
order when it
number.
happens.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah. Because the reason why I'm actually asking because the orang asli, they are actually very concerned about their loss of income. So they are very
Yes.
worried about the
Yes.
gap, you see, because to them, once they stop their hands, they stop their mouth as well, you see. So
Yes.
that's why they are worried about the income gap. So hence, I'm asking, when is the earliest time they can actually recommence agricultural activities. So hence that is why. So you are saying it's about 3 to 6 months lah, and to be safe, we take 6 months,
The maximum actually.
the maximum six
Yeah.
months.
However, the
So
earliest from the phase will be from the first month itself. I believe that we can see results, practical ones.
okay, in the event that the contamination is more serious, okay, than what we have expected, and more time is required, and there will be a gap. Earlier, we did talk about the capital financing of the handicraft business. Earlier on, I brought this up with you. I'm not sure if you recall.
Yes.
For that gap, the income gap, right? I asked if you're agreeable, to finance their business, and you did say that you're not too keen about it. So, what if it's an equity financing, in the sense that you do get shares, you get dividends. So it's not just like you're lending money in, you actually be also a part of the business. Would you consider that? Me?
Like I mentioned, we are quite a big entity. We don't want to look like taking advantage of a minority group of indigenous people. We genuinely want to help the situation. We want to ease their burden, but we don't share the sentiments of sharing that part of the bargain with the indigenous people. I think they work hard for their money, and I think it is only proper that we assist them as much as we can. So I think it's a moral consideration for us. We don't want any part in this. In fact, there is a certain a very important update that we have obtained. I think my counsel would explain in detail. If at all, that update may assure Madam Mediators that we are rather noble with our intentions and certain to help them.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Well, on behalf of my client, actually, there's a grant that we on our side have represented that we'll be able to speak for the indigenous people to the government of Malaysia for that 257,000, yes. So actually currently we are waiting for the letter of approval from the ministry itself. And in fact, from my client's instructions, it's actually been approved already for that 475,000.
475. Is it not 257,000? The
Well,
200
that's the good news that we carry.
Oh,
So it's
Yes.
more than the project sum, is it? Oh,
That's
right,
right.
right. Oh, that's good news.
So this is
Okay.
the sum, and we've
Mm.
gotten a larger grant.
Okay, understood. Okay, I think that's all. Man, do you have any other questions?
I think it's quite clear for me at the moment.
Okay, then. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hood, and
Thank you.
also Vin. All right.
V. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Gracie and San. We have a few questions for you, in order just to clarify the status of your proposal to compare with the rest of the parties. Man, you may proceed if you have the question first.
Okay. I would just like to say that V-Tank has already come up with a proposal settlement. Okay.
Okay.
And I just want to check with you all, but there is just I have some concerns about their proposal. The proposal might actually create an income gap for the orang asli. Okay, because in order to carry out their proposal, it needs actually some time to actually become fruitful. So there is some income gap about 3 to 6 months, a maximum of 6 months. Okay, and we are just wondering if because the orang asli, they're actually very concerned about this income gap, because to them, once they stop planting, they actually don't have any more income. So we are trying to see if you all are keen to do this. They are thinking of starting some small business, okay, to close the gap, to close the income gap, like some handicraft business, or or just to open up their settlement for visitation. But they need to do some small beautifying and all that to actually make the place ready.
It's
So-
V-Tank's proposal, is it?
The VTEX proposal has an income, it creates an income gap, because
Oh,
what they are doing actually takes some time, and then in that period, the orang asli, they are not able to continue
Conduct
the
any-
agricultural activities. So I'm just thinking here, because like I said, for orang asli, once they stop planting, once they have no crops, they don't have income. So they
Yes.
have actually thought of doing some handicraft business, and also maybe open up their settlement for visitation from the public. So, but the problem they have is actually the capital, the funding to actually start up this business. So I'm if Fresh Veggie is actually interested in providing equity financing to the orang asli, like you give them some capital, and it is going to be a part of your share in the company. Okay, maybe you all can initiate a sendirian berhad, okay, and then the profit will be by way of dividends, so that you can actually help them, to close the gap. Would it be something that you would consider keen on doing?
Sorry,
Actually,
Zar, maybe I just need to add a bit on that point. So if you feel that all the injection of capitals is too big, it can be such working opportunities from even hiring orang asli community members in restoration works, the groundworks, because we know that they are really good at doing that as well. So we are seeing any sort of working opportunities while we think for the restoration has to be done.
okay. Actually, that is one of our settlement proposal where we will consider orang asli. I mean, we will take in orang asli to work with us. Yeah, that is
Okay.
also, that was actually one of our proposal, where in order for the process of the soil restoration and everything, we will consider to take in orang asli to work with us while the process of the soil restoration. Yeah.
Man, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Before we go further, I would like to advise my client on pursuant for some expert report that is out. Can I?
Yes, you may, please. You may share screen also.
I need personally to talk to her for a while before we proceed further.
Okay.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, Gracie.
Yes.
Okay, at this stage, our position is the leakage from the AB liquid fertilizer
Mm-hmm.
tank is more likely due to soil erosions, right? And soil
Yes.
movement, and
Yeah.
this one is a defect in the tank themselves, right?
Mm.
So we should clearly maintain that there's no product defect issue with the V tank, correct?
Uh, we
I
can maintain
advise you.
that there's no defects in the manufacture or whatever thing, but this was the external factor like the land movement and the landslide happened, which caused the leakage in the tank. Yeah.
Okay.
As
But
they
can
has
I
produced their
just,
report, you know.
yes, I come up with my own report as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can share with you right now.
Okay.
Okay, wait, just give me a minute. Let me share with you.
Can.
How to share? How to share screen?
You have a share button up there,
That's
right? Then you share.
Can share no? Can you see?
No, I think you have to share that window which is opened.
Okay, wait. Share, right?
Share, and then you can see its screen and window, right? Share your window.
And only stand out, side by side, reporter at background. How to share it? Don't share it.
You can't share it.
I cannot share. Okay. But can I share you through?
Can.
Let me share with you. Win, can you get it? Have you received?
Hold on.
In
No, haven't yet.
expert opinion report.
Did you send me through WhatsApp?
Yes, I did. No,
I haven't received
haven't
yet.
received, huh? Okay. Okay, I will just proceed this. Have you?
No.
Still not.
Okay, yeah, already.
Okay,
Done.
I go to the second point. However, the second issues that
Maybe I can try to share it with just give me a second.
I come out with this report with those that they are sharing previously with us, right? Then we have to come out with our own report. Okay, can you see the report?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm actually sharing it. Just 1 second,
Okay,
son.
sure.
Okay, can you see this?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
This is
okay,
the
great.
report that you can
Yeah.
see is an expert opinion report. Okay. I just clearly put it on expert declarations.
Okay.
Scope of opinion. When you scroll down.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you see the expert opinion and compositions and plant interactions.
Yes.
And then we go for opinion on vegetation's impact. What's the impact on it? Then I put it clearly over there. You can see. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, go next. The last page.
Mm.
Can go.
Um, yeah, this is the last page.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, this is the report that I will share with the man later, Man and Zara, right? Okay,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
okay, then I just stress to second point that I would like to advise on based on their previous argument, you know. Okay, the
Okay.
Gracie, you can just see, we go for the soil condition appears to have been affected in fertigation activities, right? On both the client land, and it is the one that you are mentioned to me in the previously, and indigenous
Yeah.
land. So we can reasonably argue on this case is on the contributory negligence share responsibility, not fully liability on the client. I mean, it's
Okay,
only
yeah.
fully liable on the Gracie. It's you actually, okay? And then I come up with the third point is the RM 20 million claim. You got it right? You got it right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay. The third
Uh,
point that I'm going to stress here is 20 million claim is also not automatically accepted because the extent of damages must be strictly proven by other side with a proper evidence and causation. You agree with that, right?
yeah, yeah.
Gracie? Okay. Then basically on base of the expert report from them, AB liquid fertilizer is also less harmful, right? Less harmful and compared to the stronger nitrogen. Okay, you
Yeah,
can
but
see the base.
was there nitrogen in their report?
Yeah, they have put it
Oh, okay.
clearly, nitrogen and phosphorus based fertilizer.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
So we can support an argument that liability should be reduced the fairly apportionate.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just giving you roughly the idea of that, how they come out with their report and what we have to counter argue with them later. I'm just explaining to you on this part.
Okay.
And finally, I come to our negotiations position should be around 30 to 50% liability. Are
You
you
mean
agree?
fresh veggie?
Yeah.
I don't
You
think
not agree?
no.
Okay.
It
Can you?
should be bad. It's anyhow. I think should be shared, but
Okay.
um.
You can see that clearly in their report. They have mentions everything. I understand from your positions. I can actually advise you, but we have to look for evidence that they have provided with the report, expert report as well.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just suggesting you as a client and I just say that we stick with 30 to 50. In 30 to 50% liability, I can go for 30% actually. Are you okay with that? Okay with it? Are you
It
agree or you
should.
want to go and just give me some points that if you are not agreed, we have to counter argue with them why we not liability with the
Yeah.
because they have very stronger report. I'm very, very sure when we go next to argue with them. Before that, I just want to know your perspectives as well, whether you are okay with 30% liability or how you want to bring forward actually.
Well, I'm okay with the 30% liability, but
Yeah.
I don't think that they will agree on the 30% liability as they will maybe they will counter offer to say that both parties should share half, share the liability equally. Yeah. They
I
might
understand, but the thing is, I just put it 30% liability over here. I put 30 to 50% liability, but we move to 30% liability first. And then we go to, then I will just say that which give an exposure of about 6 million, right?
Yes.
6 million to 10 million.
But in order for that part of compensation, I think since we are going to propose that orang asli can actually, we are taking in orang asli to work with us, we can forgo that 20 million compensation because we are anyhow going to provide them work. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't think that
Okay, then
compensation
we can
should be
just,
a term on it.
we take a stronger stance, then say that we can cap liability for 30% only.
Yes, yeah, if
Okay.
that's the case, yes.
Okay, supported by public policy considerations and possible mitigation through temporary employment for the affected community. Okay, those
Yes.
that we can
Yeah.
come up with all of this. And finally,
Mm.
and any compensation relating to the indulgence community, right, must be based on strictly on the average earning from figures previously discussed with Dato' Atan. Okay,
Yeah,
I come
yeah.
up with figures and which supports an overall cap around 500.
Mm.
Are you okay with it? Or you want to go lesser?
You mean that one is for?
Cap around 5. You remember that Dato' Atan come with the portions of, hold on,
Mm.
indulgence of earning cap argument.
Uh-huh.
Previously Dato' Atan come along, then we
Yeah.
just, can I remain saying that earning previously discussed with Dato' Atan,
Mm-hmm.
okay, reinforcing the total compensation should not exceed 500k. I stick with 500k. In the benchmark is accepted.
What
Previous,
if I do not agree on that? What would you advise on me?
okay, you can see that Dato' Atan's already come out with the figure, okay,
Yeah,
previously.
yeah.
And when I personally have figured out the figures, I advise you to just go for below 500. Okay,
Yeah.
I leave it to you to decide as my client to tell me the amount that I should come out with later on when they argue on this part, actually.
Mm-hmm. Maybe if he's giving 5, maybe we can go half of it.
250, is it?
Yeah. I think quarter would be not reasonable for them. Or maybe we should go with quarter first, and then if they are not satisfied, and then we can increase from there. Is it possible?
Okay, because the calculation that I did, okay, overall, I can stick it to 300 first.
Okay,
300,
okay.
it not exceeds 500, but
Yeah.
I can just put 300,000 first. If they
Okay.
ask more, then my idea and my advice to you, just stick to 350, but I will go for 300 first.
Okay, can, yeah.
Okay,
Can.
you agree with
Okay.
that, right?
Yeah.
But I stick with 300, then you will save your 200. Okay, I don't want to go and say that it's 500, then they stick it with 500 actually.
Yeah. We
Okay,
should
I just
go from
go
below.
for 300 because the calculation I can explain to them later if they ask for the, okay, then I think that's all. If you agree, then we can just go and meet up our mediator, right?
Yeah.
Man and Zah.
And but also just let me clarify that I have actually just roughly have the idea of settlement proposal which we can propose to them is that first thing is the joint soil restoration where both we tank and also us contribute equally for that soil restoration, and then
Yes,
we
I
also
come up with the same point as well.
yeah.
Okay, I just figure out to you the 3 points that I'm going to shoot to them later on. It's like no defect in tank. I just say that maintain that AB liquid fertilizers tanks were not defective actually. And the leakage is most likely cause your soil erosion and soil movement actually. The second point that I'm going to pointed out for them is share responsibility actually, as you mentioned.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, I have a point, then later on I need to explain to them.
Yes.
Okay, then I come up with the strict proof of damage required. I did some research on that I can explain later to them. And finally, I come with expert evidence support apportionment. Okay.
Okay.
And
But
then,
that is to actually put forward our points lah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But in terms of proposal, that the first main one was that share
Okay.
liability proposal, and
Okay.
also community support program. Yeah, meaning to say that we will sponsor the orang asli, to supply, like, the fresh seedlings during that soil recovery period. And at the same time also we can have agreements with orang asli to actually maintain our reputation. Yes, to see that, like, even there's a defect in the soil, that we are taking the effort, and also the effort actually to rectify it
Okay.
with orang asli. Somewhere along that line should be fine.
Okay. Can?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
I think we can invite the mediators back.
Okay. Hi, Mans. Can I?
Yes, please
proceed.
continue.
Okay. 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 I come out with the expert report, and I just roughly explaining of the first expert opinion report, and it's about the environmental assessment of AB liquid fertilizer used on the vegetation and soil system in Malaysia. And it's first is expert declarations. The second one is scope of opinion. And the third one is expert opinion on composition and plant interactions. And fourth one is opinion on vegetation impact. And the fifth one is soil system assessment in Malaysian context. And the sixth, expert opinion on environmental risk. And seventh is soil rehabilitation potential. And the eighth is a professional conclusion. So I would like to just explain a bit on this part. Okay, it's my expert opinion that AB liquid fertilizer, when used in accordance with the standard agronomic recommendations, it's not harmful to vegetations and does not pose significant long-term environmental risk in Malaysia. But an enhanced environmental outcomes are primarily the result of mismanagement, particularly excessive applicant and inadequate drainage control, rather than inherent properties of the fertilizer itself. Okay, furthermore, the soil system affected by such a practice are generally reversible through established low-cost remediation strategy widely available within Malaysia agriculture practice. The expert statement over here is clearly say that this opinion is issue based on the agronomic expertise in a tropical soil system and fertilized behavior. It's intended for technical and policy consideration and should be interpreted within the context of proper nutrient management practice. There's some term is by name of Dr. Wong Hao Fook. It's coming from this report, specialization in soil investigation, site assessment and foundation design. The company is Geophytica Solutions in Rambahat. Okay, this is the report that I would like to share for our argument, and I just want to come out with few points here. Gracie's point that we discussed earlier. Okay, I just want to highlight here the first point that we want to stress here is we are agreed with no defect in tank. Yes, Gracie?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
is right.
then the maintain that the AB liquid fertilizer tank were not defective, but the leakage is most likely caused by soil erosions or soil, okay? Soil
The
movement.
landslides.
Yeah, soil movement, which is site condition issue rather than product is defect. The second point that I'm going too fast, no, right? Okay, the second point here is share responsibility. Okay, I come
Yeah.
out with the share responsibility is a contributory negligence. Okay, I just discussed with Gracie just now. She's agree with this, that saying that impasses the condition of the soil affected by fertigations activities on the both the client land and the indigenous land contribute significantly, and this is support a strong argument for contributing negligence, reducing V-tank exposure actually, right? Gracie, we are discuss on this part, then you agree with this point.
Contributory negligence is orang asli and yourself, is it you're saying?
We thanks.
V-tanks
Yeah.
exposure.
Meaning to say that WeTank also should fulfill its obligation as a responsible contractor.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. Perhaps
Yes.
most importantly, from a settlement perspective,
Mhm.
we would like to understand your position on the contribution to the settlement, even in the circumstances where liability is disputed, which is clearly, I understand, is the issue right now. Since the mediation actually often allows all the parties to consider the commercial solutions without any admission of fault. And in this context per se, can I know if Fresh Veggie is in a position to consider A, without prejudice contribution towards the soil restoration, B, perhaps a partial interim payment to stabilize the situation, because these all are structured without any admission to liability. Please bear that in mind. And maybe thirdly, C is a shared cost framework pending further technical findings.
I
That's
think
what
earlier
we want to
on,
know.
sorry, Man, I think earlier just now, Gracie has already indicated that she is prepared to offer working opportunities to the orang asli to
Yes.
close the
Okay.
income gap. Okay,
Mm.
because for the soil rehabilitation, the proposal by VTech actually, I think, basically solves the issue, even on the costing
Okay.
part, right? I think our
Understand.
what we really need to know now is the income gap. So if you are willing to actually, stand by your offer just now, your proposal to offer jobs to them during this period, the 3 to 6 months, I think that would greatly help the orang asli.
Orang asli, that's right.
Yes, yes. We are still with that proposal to offer job to the orang asli during that restoration period.
Say
Okay.
later we thank him and then the restoration might take up to 3 months or even 6
3 to
months.
6 months, yeah.
Yes. This Fresh Veggie actually will cover the whole month until the restoration has completed. If I
Yes,
get
but at
information
the
on that.
same time, maybe WeTank can partially contribute for the in terms of like
Public policy consideration.
Sorry,
yeah.
come again?
Public policy consideration actually.
Okay.
Sorry, you want them to contribute what? We tend to
Okay.
contribute what?
Contribution in terms of like payment, not equally, but maybe partially, because since Fresh Veggie is already offering the orang asli jobs and we are going to pay them salary as well, maybe we then can take the position on like contributing on some parts of the soil restoration in terms of the payment or anything else which they can offer lah.
So the minimum
Okay.
wages actually.
They are actually taking up the
The
Sorry?
restoration
Yeah,
as a
the
whole
restoration.
itself, actually.
Yeah.
So, I don't think you need to be so concerned because in the restoration process itself, they are willing to take the whole process by themselves until
Yes,
it's
correct.
completed.
Oh,
because
okay,
that's
then that's great. Then our consideration should be the orang asli on their job opportunity lah. It
yes,
will
correct.
be great on our part as well for that.
Okay, I think it's quite clear what we get and derive from you. Thank you so much for the cooperation. I'll see you
Okay,
in the
now
joint
we
session
will
later.
the joint session, huh?
Okay,
Yes, that's
Okay,
right.
thank you.
thank you.
Okay, hi everyone. Having heard the concerns and the proposals raised by throughout today's mediation, Zah and I would now like to facilitate a focused joint discussion on several possible settlement options. that appear to have emerged from the parties' respective positions. At this stage, I would like to remind everyone that these discussions remained without prejudice and still exploratory in nature. So the purpose is to force the immediate agreement and also to assess whether there is sufficient common ground to move on to a practical resolution. That is to say, from the discussion thus far, there appear to be 4 broad proposals for the consideration. Zar, please correct me if I'm wrong. Option 1 is on the jungle tree rehabilitation program. We call it that way. It means that this is the first proposal relates to the
Okay, can you please help me share? I actually drawn out the proposals. It's in the Word document.
can document. Just give me a
I couldn't
moment.
share it. Yeah, I couldn't share it.
It's in the Words document on the slides.
The Word document. It's in the group chat.
Sorry, I can't see the group chat on any Words document. Maybe you can just share it to me through WhatsApp and I can just share it here.
Yeah, it's on the WhatsApp. I shared it on WhatsApp, the group chat.
Okay, on it. Are you able to see it now?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so this is going to be directed to the orang asli Dato' Atan and also Alan. So for the soil rehabilitation,
Sorry, can enlarge a bit?
So sorry about that.
Okay.
Is it better now?
Yeah, better, but yeah. Thank you.
Okay, can see, yeah. Okay, so what VTank has done is that they have successfully obtained a grant from the Ministry of Agricultural and Food Security for the soil rehabilitation of the Orang Asli land. So now it means that soil rehabilitation is not going to be an issue, and this cost 475,000 will be covered by the grant. Okay, but there is a gap because in order to carry out this soil rehabilitation, there'll be a time that is required from 3 to 6 months before the land can actually be utilized for agricultural activities again. Okay, but however, Hiba, would you like to take this for fresh veggies proposal? Man?
Okay, can. Yes, thank you so much, Zar, for that. For fresh veggie perspective, since it takes 6 months for VTank, 6 months is basically the maximum for the soil to restart in according to its manner. So in this gap, fresh veggie actually willing to inject the economic sectors of Orang Asli in terms of giving the work opportunity to the Orang Asli. So in this sense, fresh veggie has undertake, if provided all the parties are in agreement, to hire orang asli within this 6-month period. So at least the economic gap, at least they will still have sufficient income to sustain throughout this period until the restoration has been completed.
Is the Orang Asli agreeable to their proposal for settlement in these terms?
One mediator, this proposal seems workable, but we have some question about there is uncertainty here, which I think we have to raise out here. First is about the grant from the ministry. So what if the 475,000 is not enough? This is first possibility. Second is what if government don't approve the grant or grant lesser than this? So as any party will just fill up the gap. This is about the grant. And second is according to our research, I think the rehabilitation need to take about 1 year. It's not only 6 months. It's more than 6 months.
Okay, thank you so much, Dato Aten, for the questions. We have actually clarified this with VTank itself. On the matter of grant, it actually has been approved. But definitely when it involves government, there's certain procedure, mechanisms, paperwork that is yet to be completed. But we have the undertaken, in fact, from the CEO itself and also their council that the grant has been allowed. So safe to say, I hope so. VTank can actually confirm this. They managed to get on the grant. On the matter of 6 months, maybe Zar can just advise on that.
6 months, I mean, from what I understand from VTank, in their proposal, they have actually laid out the phases. So they have said that after 6 months, which is the stage 2, after phase 2, the land is ready for use. Unless you would like the CEO of VTank or the council to clarify further for you.
That is to say the 6 months is actually doable for them to complete the restoration as a whole, because even though there's 3 stages, it can be run concurrently, not each for every stage. They will run it throughout the 6 months on simultaneously for every stage. That's why they say that actually 3 months itself, even less than that, can doable. But to just safeguard everyone's interest, we'll just put 6 months as the max in order for them to complete the restoration per se.
So by 6 months, it means that the land is ready for use.
That's right.
But we need something to support this. Why not maybe I think Ellen, can we just ask them to have just send our expert, then we can have a joint investigation about this and how long it would take, so that both party can agree to the timeline. Because I can't confirm now, but it sounds good. It's workable, but according to the timeline, I worry that we may not agree for the timeline yet. Ellen, how do you think?
Okay, I think the proposal is like what Datuk said, is workable. But again, I think what we'll do is that we'll send an expert out just to ensure that actually within 6 months the soil can be rehabilitated, basically. But other than that, I think this proposal is workable.
Okay, if I can just clarify, how long do you require to appoint an expert?
We have ready. Ellen is one of the experts.
Yeah.
Okay, if that's the case, because VTank has actually prepared their own report, so instead of doing a joint inspection, maybe we can share, subject to VTank approval, we can just hand over their report, check with your expert, just to save some time. And at the moment, if you agree to this proposal, if it's workable, we can actually enter into MOU first. And once, I believe it won't take that long, maybe by 1 week or 2 weeks, your expert can just confirm VTank output by then, if that's okay for you.
Yeah,
If I could just interrupt for a moment.
Yes, please.
The problem here is that time is really crucial to the matter. Like we have indicated before, the offer for the rehabilitation of the soil was actually increased from 275,000 to 470,000. And we are already in the midst of obtaining the letter of approval from the ministry. Having said that, if there was any conduct or any action that is going to be taken, particularly by the request that is being made now, our reservation is that you are rocking the boat, and this might actually jeopardize the entire effort that we have undertaken. So we wouldn't be agreeable to postponing the measures that we have taken so far to protect the indigenous people, all because they need to verify or certify the report. The documents are there. We are willing to share the report like you have mentioned, but we definitely wouldn't encourage any further delay. So we just want to stress that.
Dato' Atan, just to clarify, you are worried about the timeline mainly is because of the income, right?
I'm worried about two things.
Mm.
One is about the timeline, okay, whether 6 months is reasonable or not. Second is about the 475. If let's say the amount is not enough, who are going to top up the amount?
Okay, just to answer that, the initial proposal from VTank was 275,000. So they are saying that with 275,000, they are able to carry out this whole rehabilitation. So I think now with a pumped up, amount, the grant amount, I think I could safely say that it could be would be more than sufficient. VTank could confirm that.
We stand by the proposal that we have put forward. We stand by the fact that the amount on the grant allocated has been increased, but that is all our assurance would go.
Okay, so the timeline, Dr. Atan, is because of the income that you're actually they're worried about, right? Basically, if it's not 6 months, if it's 1 year, so what's going to happen, from the 6 month to that 1 year period, correct? That's the main concern.
Yes, one, because according to our survey and our investigation, this process may take about 1 year.
Okay, with that, maybe if I could check with Gracie. Okay, initially you have agreed, to hire them for the time period where until the time the land is ready for agricultural activities.
Yeah.
So in the event that the rehabilitation actually takes a year, so would you be willing to extend their employment until the time the land is ready or has been rehabilitated? Would you be ever so kind to extend that?
As long as the soil restoration is taken care by VTank, then I think it shouldn't be any problem by us providing the extended opportunity for orang asli to work with us.
Would that, yeah, it shouldn't be a problem.
It
Would that
shouldn't be a problem.
allay your worries, Dato' Atan?
Can, as long as our earnings, our all this income can be secure, I'm happy to accept it. One.
Okay, perhaps rather than approaching these options as mutually exclusive, we can also wish to consider the elements from several proposals to be combined together and into a balanced settlement framework. Is it okay?
So could I we just confirm in just what parties have agreed upon at the moment? So the first agreement is that VTank has agreed to take upon the soil rehabilitation project, okay, with the grant provided by the Ministry of Agricultural and Food Security in the sum of 475,000 or any other amount that it could be at the time. If it's an amended amount or so, okay, I'm not sure. Okay, so at the moment it stands 475,000. Okay, And then second proposal is to cover the income gap until the soil rehabilitation is completed. Fresh Veggie has agreed to hire the orang asli until the time that it may so be completed. In this, yeah, am I right to say
Yeah.
that?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, with that, could I then ask the parties to just capture our agreement and to make sure that everybody is on the same page for parties to sign a memorandum of agreement? I believe because a settlement agreement would take time because councils would need to look into the terms, the nitty-gritty of the terms. So we will not go into that. So we will sign a memorandum of agreement to capture the gist, and then the lawyers can then work with each other to come up with a full settlement agreement. Yeah.
Yes. I concur with Zar. So at the moment, I would now invite the representative of Tasik Besar Orang Asli Corporation to sign the MOU. Dato' Atan,
Yep.
do you have a pen with you? Can you just sign a copy of
Yes.
the MOU in front of you?
Yes. Yes. No problem. Okay. You go.
Thank you so much, Dato' Atan, for your cooperation, and we wish Orang Asli the best in the future. Next is Fresh Veggie Corporation Sdn Bhd.
Yes.
The same operandi. Can you just please execute the copy of the MOU? No worries, because each of the MOU is treated as a counterpart. There's a clause of a counterpart, so we will combine it together at the end of the day. Once you are ready, please complete. So,
Okay. Done.
thank you so much. The same, we wish you the best for your business. And thank you so much for cooperating at this mediation. And lastly, VTank Limited. Whenever you're ready, please just sign the MOU as well.
But no problem, right?
Legally, we are clear.
Okay.
Final confirmation from the council.
Yes, that's right. Okay, there you go. Thank you.
Yeah, it's good. It's better to be safe lah. Okay, thank you so much. Now all parties have already executed the MOU, and with the signing of this memorandum of understanding, the mediation session is now concluded. We sincerely hope that today's resolution marks not only the settlement of a dispute, but also the beginning of a more constructive and cooperative relationship moving forward between Orang Asli Corporation, Fresh Veggie, and also last but not least is VTank Limited. Thank you everyone to all the parties. This mediation is now adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, madam.